Meep.
Sun takes its heels to taunt you, but after sunlit days, one thing stays the same. Rises the moon. Days fade into a watercolor blur. Memories swim and haunt you, but look into
Goon
the
boy.
lake, shimmering like smoke. Rises the moon. Oh, close your weary eyes. I promise you that soon the autumn comes to darken fading summer skies. Breathe, breathe, breathe.
You like the song?
Days pull you down just like a sinking ship.
I like it a lot. Hello. Hello. Hi Grace, hi Ren, hi Chief, hi Ross, hi Alexander, hi Nova, hi Ross, hi Felix, hi Renelius, hi Harry, good morning. Hi Dilly. Hello Dilly. How are you doing, Dilly? That's so dumb. Thank you for the gifts of Dilly. Thank you for the 25 months, I think it was from Nova. Yes. Hello Lynn, thank you so much for the 18 months. Hello Requiem. Also, dang it, my Subnautica crashed. No! No, the tragedy! Chuck, thank you so much for the 4 months. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I will get your ass.
Try it. Try it. Ah, what a fucking day to be on
No
VTuber
music.
Twitter, huh? What do you mean no music? I like the music. I'm gonna keep the music. Today I'm in a fuck it mood, so I'm gonna be just listening to songs I like. The VOD's gonna get muted later, so if you want to do like to take clips, I suggest you get them now. Yeah.
We don't hear it, bestie.
You don't hear it? Oh, it's too low? Okay. Here, there's that one. Now we do. You turned it down. I did. Okay, hold on. Here, this one's iconic. Why not?
The VTuber drama is such high school petty drama loudly crying.
It's insane. I'm
It says
staying
if
out
you're
of
on
it.
Max volume. Now we can hear it.
Okay, beautiful. I'm staying out of it. I'm gonna not say shit because it doesn't really involve me or
All
anyone
pretty.
I know personally. So I'm like, I'ma just let that exist. I'ma let that be and do its own thing. I'm here to draw. Also, thank you, Zilly, for the another gift. Thank you. Hi, Pambi. Bro. Feeling stupid. Ooh.
Hype train.
Thank you for the hype train. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's like a dumpster fire out back that you don't want to deal with tears of joy.
Exactly.
I'm eating it up, I'm not gonna lie. You know how I am speaking head.
That's valid. That's valid. That is very valid. It's a lot and more shit keeps coming up. So it's like, oh wow, oh wow, oh. You're drawing people? Where can I apply? Oh, I'm drawing like, I already picked the people that I want to draw. I'm sorry.
Behold, it's the femboy smasher lololololol.
Hello, Kale. Welcome. On the road, so lurking. You do that. You do that. You do that. Drama friend, drama feed right here. I
So
think
the third Google Doc just hit.
Yeah, no, there's more. I saw 4. I saw 4. I don't know. I saw 4.
Who are you drawing today, father?
Let me show you.
Oh,
There's
there's
5!
5
Never mind. Not even I'm updated. Here, let's move to just chatting.
Yes, I am in fact the femboy smasher lol.
That's not nice. So,
Kiss
I want
the
to
lum.
draw. I want to just chill. I have some things I want to say, but we'll get there soon enough. Just a cupid, ba-bam, bam, and now you're feeling stupid.
WTF, did I miss Selim 11ZOOM?
I'm not gonna get too much into it because it's not my story to tell. But to summarize, for those who have no idea what's going on, it's about the VTuber Cinder. She is currently one of the biggest
Can we call
indie
it Cos
VTubers.
the imposter among us?
No.
Einstein once said there are two things that are infinite, the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the universe.
Yeah. Onion supremacy? Not exactly. Oh, here, I want this one. I really like fish in the bridge. Sorry. Fish in the bird cage. I read it wrong. I was focusing on the wrong thing. Roll 34. Hell yeah. Okay.
Good boy with the good voice, the goodest boy also. Yeah, I read about Cinder, feel bad for Cotton, Bow, and Nano.
Mm-hmm.
We are coming to date and smash him femboys lol.
Damn. Thank you for letting me know in advance. I want to say one thing. There was a change of how I planned things originally. I was planning on streaming one more week before I take a break to get ready for my re-debut. But I think tomorrow is my last solo stream. At least I will still be around. I'll probably appear in like maybe some collabs here and there on other people's channels. But until debut, I think it's better if I don't push myself this hard, because to give you an idea, I don't have a single dedicated day off on the week. Every day I do something productive. And trying to keep up with my normal pace while dealing with an extra workload of debut is not good for my mental state. So I decided, okay, fuck it, I can't play Circus forever. Let's just slow down. That's just gonna be smarter, because I don't want to dead stream, pretty much. I don't want to
announce when the collabs happen so we can watch.
I will.
Yeah, don't push yourself and hurt a different part of yourself loudly crying. Overwork lum needs some EEP.
Kinda. Obviously, again, I will come back, and the debut will be announced very, very soon. Probably, if I'm being absolutely realistic, probably on Thursday next week. So 1, 2, 3, 4. In 5 days, we're announcing a date, so you guys know exactly like when it's happening. Also, hello, Mal. I thought. Thank you for the follows. I'm sorry if I didn't say hello, but hi. Also, hi, Ceramic. So that. I'm kind of happy that I didn't rush it, because imagine trying to debut while this shit is going on. Like, fuck no. If it makes sense, fuck no. Also,
Let's go. Get that bread, Kai.
Also, I am eating food right now, so I will be starting. If any mod can type that down, that would be great. I'm gonna finish my food soon. First, I'm eating
We
a
must
sandwich.
vent win among us.
I'm gonna finish this, and then I'm gonna draw. Yeah, no. When people say that there are snakes in this community, there's a good reason. There's a lot of people that look like the nicest on earth, and then you dig a little deeper, and it's like, oh shit, you two-faced as fuck. Also, hello, Nico. Hello. It can definitely be something.
Don't judge me if I fall asleep, by the way. I'm really tired and your voice is making me far too relaxed. Selim 11E.
You can relax, good boy.
The femboy slayer.
You can relax, you can sleep, that's okay. I take it as a compliment. So sweet. Thank you for pinning that. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm eating a chicken sandwich. It's pretty good. It's pretty tasty. The gremlin giggles. Oh,
Don't bully Harry, you bratty goat.
why not? He's funny to bully. Have you seen how easily he flusters? I love soft tops. They're so fun to tease. Chicken
I
sandwich,
am the
yeah.
femboy slayer.
I see. Good to know. Thank you for informing us of your position in the government. Do you get like paid leave? Do you get like insurance? Sorry, I'm being silly. Also, you and that darn ASMR voice. Yeah, I will use it. Bitch, now I know that works, I'll use it. But yeah, that. Also, it is very likely that I will not be doing...
I cast no balls.
Just like, I imagine them like absorbing into thin air. Oh, thank you for the 500 BDs! It's been about since I've been here, sadly, and I can stick
I
around.
don't, I just get bussy XD.
Either I wanted to drop a real quick and say hello, and that I hope
I
that
cast
everyone is
no
doing
dick.
well so far. Thank you, Ice Mango. Don't worry about it. Take your time. Thank you so much for the message, though, and the biddies. Thank you. The thing that I wanted to say is that no, I don't just get bussy. Enjoy the bussy, sir. Enjoy the bussy. It is a certain delicacy. But yeah, sorry. I wanted to say something. What the fuck did I wanted to say? Oh yeah, I know it's gonna break some hearts. I know it's gonna make some people sad, but I don't think I'll be making ASMR streams for a while. I'll continue posting videos, but I don't think we'll get another stream. At least not for a bit. Ow. Which is good, yeah. Can I share with you guys? I found a new obsession. Do you want to hear about it? You want to hear about it? You want to hear about me being autistic and weird? The bud was goated. Thank
Oh
you.
no.
Yeah. I've started watching like every single, like all day.
Go off, King.
All day, non-stop. I've been watching cave diving, and I've been watching like caving like accidents and shit like that. Like just 20, like from 20 minutes to an hour of content of just people doing dumb shit in caves and either living or not living.
Oh no no.
Like unironically, I live for this shit. It's so good. It's so interesting. It's so like let me just see.
Felix got a lot of experience cave diving, if you know what I mean.
Shush. Shush. But yes, I've been watching that non-stop. Literally, like, recently, I've been finding it a lot more relaxing than listening to music while I draw. Instead of music, I am listening to... And then Timmy turned around and noticed that the entrance was suddenly overflowing with water, and he was stuck there for 13 hours before rescue was able to dig a hole above him to be able to get him out. Like shit
I
like
wants to
that!
cave dive into my dad. Oh no, that is a very deep of a rabbit hole.
I know. I have been consuming so much content.
You would find the more relaxing SMH.
I don't know how to explain it. It's just the thrill of trying to figure out if the guy's gonna live or not. Like, you can tell. You can tell, like, by the testimonies alone and, like, the amount of evidence that is being able to be, like, shared. Like, oh, yeah, by hour 7.
I craves the mines.
Shut up. By hour 7, he started
OFC,
thinking,
he's loved people go into tight hole.
shut, it's not
John entered
lewd.
the devil's hot spicy hole and got stuck with his body in a loop-de-loop our videos.
Exactly that. No, but like for real. Like, do you want to know my favorite game about it when I'm watching them? Is like, is the person gonna die? Like, how many people here are gonna die? Can I predict it? Because if it's like, oh, on hour 7, he started thinking about his mom, I'm like, yeah, no, you're living. You're living.
Divers have the opposite of claustrophobia. What would that be? Claustrophilia? That sounds bad, lol.
That does sound bad, Mango. Genuinely, it's been making me feel great. I like watching it. Or like when like the second of the video when they're like, and then after hour 6, the team lost contact with the person that was stuck inside the cave, and I'm like, yeah, no, you're dead. Yeah, dead. Yeah, dead. I will never get into a fucking cave, bitch. You guys know me. Look at my I look at my fucking PNG. I'm too silly for that
doesn't sound
shit.
too bad.
I would die.
I love tight holes, Kappa pride.
I would
One
die.
time I went cave spelunking.
You sound like a
Your
soul
butt will get stuck
masterman.
so quickly.
Shut up. Shut up. It's not just that. But that can happen. That can happen, actually.
Does digging a tunnel system on the beach count? 3.
No, you can die. You wanna know why? I saw a video of exactly that happening, and it was 2 teenagers, and one of them died. You wanna know how? You wanna know how?
Goat boy gets stuck in a hole in a rock.
You can actually die because, like, think about
I'd rather
sand.
go underwater in a cage with sharks around me than go into those tight ASF caves.
Actually,
Watch the
you have
goat
a better
dance
chance.
Hypnotically XD.
Like, let me tell you about it. Basically, if you're in a beach and, like, you know, when you dig a hole in the beach, it fills with water at the bottom. And the entire reason why sand is able to stick together, it's because of that water. It's because of that humidity. Because otherwise, it just falls. That's how sand works, right? Right? So, I don't remember the year, but there was these 2 teenagers, siblings. One was 17, one was 16, I think. Brother and sister. And they were like, you know what? Let's make it the biggest fucking hole we can make it. And for hours, they stayed at the beach and they kept making it bigger and bigger and bigger until it was like 2 meters deep. I'm not kidding. They got to 2 meters. And you know what happens when you start making a hole that's bigger in the sand? It starts becoming unstable. Like, it becomes very easily disturbed to the point that someone just walking by can make the whole thing collapse. But that's a part of the challenge, right? You're like, oh, I need to dig deeper now because now it's wider. And you keep going and you keep going and you keep going. And after you get to a certain height, the sand at the top starts drying. And you wanna know what happens when sand dries? What did I say earlier? It falls!
Not me remember shoring the sides of the hole.
So, while they were at the bottom, something as simple as a breeze, because it wasn't caused by something like that they could tell. So it could have been just the wind. It could have been just the weight of the sand itself. It made it collapse on them. And the problem when you're stuck under sand is that the pressure and weight of sand doesn't let you expand your lungs. So you can't breathe. So you have a few seconds to be able to react before someone dies of asphyxiation. The sister, the younger one, was like luckily able to get out quickly, but they did not get to the brother on time. So yeah, don't do holes in sand. You could legitimately die. Don't do that. That's dumb. That's freaking awful. I know. It's just like, I see it as, okay, you wanna know what? Actually, I had fun making
The worst
holes
one
like
of those
that.
with an inward turn that leads to a dead end. Scary AF.
Oh yeah. Or like, you wanna know the ones that make me feel the worst? The ones that make me feel the worst are the ones that like the body cannot be recovered. Like, yeah, no, your body's just stuck in that cave for the rest of eternity, and we're gonna seal it with concrete. Like, I would rather be cut to pieces and like get out instead of like staying in a fucking hole. Hell no. Not the self, don't piss off, okay? You want to know something else I learned? Do you know what a lava hole, what a lava tube is? You want to
Don't go
learn
into
about...
sand hole, go into Kai hole. Got it. 3.
Yes. Do you want to know what a lava tube is? Lava tubes. A lava tube is when there is volcanic activity and the lava gets to a certain
I
temperature
learned
to the
the best
point...
way to survive cave diving is not cave diving.
Yep. Yep, like getting burned lighter is one of the worst ways to die in my opinion. Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. But I got another one. It's not that bad. It's not as bad, but it's still not great. Basically, as I said before, when volcanic activity is happening and the lava gets to a certain temperature, it starts melting stone as it starts like going down. And because the surrounding rock is colder, it turns into this cylinder that after the lava is done flowing, it leaves a hole. That's a lava hole. That's a lava tube. And you know something funny about lava tubes? They're extremely dangerous, but not because of lava. No, my friend. That would be too simple. That would be too simple. The reason why they're incredibly deadly, and you need to find the right ones, because some are worse than others. It is very common that they're still connected to volcanic activity, even if those holes have not had lava in them for thousands of years. The problem with that is that, as you know, volcanic activity produces a lot of gases, a lot of toxic chemicals. And you want to know what happens with those gases? They are so dense, they start consuming breathable air. And you know how you have around 1 minute of like existing if your brain does not get oxygen for 1 minute? You are pretty much dead. So by the time you're deep in the lava tube and you start smelling something funny, you have a couple of moments to turn around before you start feeling incredibly disoriented and then pass out. Lesson of the day, don't go to lava tubes. Don't do that. It's a death sentence. Just a little leak in the air and you're done. Screw that shit, yeah. Situation I would not be in. Yeah. Legitimately super fucking interesting. Oh, you wanna know something I also find like slightly funny? It's not really funny, but I find it interesting. It's the fact that people come up with the best solutions after the person usually dies. Like, they're like, why didn't we just use a rope and like connected it through different points of the cave so they wouldn't be pulled like spaghetti? Like, why didn't we just do that? Why didn't we give them a radio so they could talk to us? Why didn't we like give them a heater? Because you want to know one of the main reasons people die when they're stuck in caves? Hypothermia. Caves are so wet and so cold.
Working in confined spaces while welding also posses this same issue.
Yeah.
Never go cave diving, never go into lava tubes, never dig deep holes in sand, and think of good solutions faster.
Uh-huh. There's one more. Something more dangerous than going caving is cave diving. Cave diving has to be one of the dumbest things.
Never go past 30 feet underwater.
Uh-huh. But cave cozy? No. 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 No.
Are you saying never go into any holes?
Not exactly.
K, you know what's funny. Also K says the most sad and depressing story of how someone dies. Yes, very funny.
I find that very interesting. And I like learning so I don't die. That's how I feel about it. I like consuming information so I prevent myself from like suffering the same fate. Pretty much. Oh,
Cave
the
diving more like cave dying.
Yeah, cave dying.
I'ma go cave diving now.
No, let me tell you the reason why you should never do that. Because it requires a lot of experience.
Never go into any holes but Kai hole.
Yes. Yes. But here, I'll pause the DTS for a sec. There you go. I paused the DTS for a sec. Safe. Okay. So, basically, cave diving is incredibly complex. Like, to a stupid degree. You need to have very good both chemistry and math skills. Not to mention being able to stay level-headed, surrounded by death, darkness, and not being able to see it right in front of you. Pretty much. Oh, nice. 666. Nice. Nice. Like, to give you an idea, cave diving, let me just give you a little taste of how complex this shit can get. Depending on the depth of the cave, you need to administer yourself manually different kinds of air. One being oxygen, one being helium, and another one I don't remember, but a third one. And depending on the depth, depending on your age, depending on your body, you need to administer yourself manually different amounts, so the pressure and everything around you doesn't make you feel extremely sometimes you need more air and more oxygen when you are in deeper areas because you're making a lot of more effort and your body needs more of that air to be able to work in those conditions. Why helium? I don't know, but it's there. I don't know why, but helium is there. And not just that, depending on if you're descending vertically or horizontally, or if you're moving vertically or horizontally, that's a different calculation. Not to mention, sometimes it's a different time it's a different day. And just because it's a different day and your body has different demands, now that's another different calculation. Not to mention, like, the conditions of the cave that you are in. Some you can just kind of pass through. Sometimes you need to move physically your equipment so it doesn't get crushed between the rocks, while you're still keeping an eye on your air, while you're still keeping an eye on your visibility, while you're keeping an eye on how much air you have left to breathe. So you have to be... Thank you, Rain. So you have to be working on all of those things simultaneously, to the point that even experienced divers have a hard time just staying focused for that amount of hours. Like, you can't let go for a single second. Everything needs to be monitored, because if you administer yourself the wrong amount of air or the wrong percentages of air, you're dead, son. You're dead, son. And you wanna know something even more funny about cave diving? Because of the fact that these caves have been, like, flooded with water for, sometimes millions of years, the rock formations are mazes. Like, the way that the rock curves or stops or continues follow no pattern whatsoever. It's not your normal cave. So even people that are experienced divers, or even people that are experienced cavers, get lost incredibly easy if you let go of the lifeline for 1 second. Also that, never let go of a lifeline. If you're going caving and it has a lifeline, have your own, but also never let go of the main one. Those are there so you can find the exit. Never, unless you have a death wish, never do that. That's stupid. That's stupid. And you wanna know? There's this story of, like, these two teenagers and their dads. And you wanna know what they decided to do? Hey, let's go to this, like, cave diving, right? And you know the amount of research we're gonna do? We're gonna watch a YouTube video. Damn, this looks so cool. Even though it says that it's for experienced divers, but the guy in the YouTube himself is like, it's an experience that every diver should have. 2 of them died because the dumbasses decided, yeah, all the info we need is a YouTube video. That's so stupid. Okay, I'm turning it back on so you guys can speak. Let's go.
That's just what being in your hole is like, LMAO.
Shut the... Oh my god. Hi, Taskor. The TTS is now turned on, so if your thing was not read, you may read it again. Yum, 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 yum. I'm almost done with my food, by the way. Dumb ways to die. Yeah, I'm eating a chicken sandwich. I'm almost done. I've been just very, like, focused yapping.
Poshito MMMM.
Pochito!
Did you know that some free divers who are used to holding their breath can sometimes just drop dead in the water as County 2 builds up in their brain and they don't realize? Also CHIKCENSANDWISHHHHYYMMMM.
Yeah, chicken sandwich. Me. What, like, you know what watching all of those videos taught me? Is that it doesn't matter if you are literally an elite rescue unit specialized in cave diving. One mistake and you're dead. Some caves are really not forgiving.
I just realized the moving PNG reminds me of chicken or birds eating seeds lol.
Yum. Yum. Also, lack of oxygen. People don't realize that you can very easily die if the cave just does not have enough ventilation, or you're stuck in like an air pocket. If you're cave diving, you only have so much air, and you need to always have steady breathing and calm, because if you decide to panic and start then that is slowly eating away at your breathable air. I could not do that shit. Autism is nice, isn't it? I thought when I came you said you need to have breathable air when K-diving. when you are K-diving. Hey, wanna get in my cave? You need special equipment for this one. Experienced divers only. Bad. No!
Kai diver. Selim said you need a certification to explore this cave. I mean, you do need breathable air when eating ass LMAO.
Yeah. Hi, PV. Actually,
Beware, this cave is a black hole. If you know, you know.
also, I'm almost done with my sandwich. Would you guys like to watch a video with me? Would you like to watch a cave diving video while I draw? Ooh. Okies, of course.
I put tape
yeah.
on my
Let's
cat, he
go.
looks mad.
Free your poor cat. Don't put tape on it. As long as it's not nightmarish death. Here, I'll pick one that has survivors. How about that? That was good.
Kai the art.
I know, that's what I'm gonna do.
The tongue's just the built-in cave diver. It's always in your mouth. Selim 11 sip.
Damn. Okay, let's see. Let me see my search history. No. Damn. No. I'm searching. Oh, wait. I have an offer for you guys. I have two options. Would you like... Let me read you the titles. we have number 1, Ocean Gate is worse than you thought, or cave diver trapped alone in the dark. Pick your favorite. I personally think Ocean Gate sounds interesting. Like that's the one that imploded, if you're curious. Oh my god! Hey, I think it's thank you, man, it sounds. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Miss D. Thank you. Here, I'll grab Ocean Gates. Why not? Okay. Where is my sharing screen thingy? Give it to me. There you go. And now let's make this a lot smaller. Let me move it, bitch. Bitch. Where the fuck? Oh, here it is. Okay, I found it. Here, I'll put it in the corner if y'all want to watch it. Can I actually drag this to this different? Yeah, that's better.
We
Okay.
watching this while you draw. Also
Yeah.
not the Titanic skull.
1912, the Titanic claimed 1,500 lives.
Baha, the dancing Kai with the Titanic.
In
Yeah.
2023, it claimed 5 more.
Hi, my name is Stockton Rush. I'm the CEO and founder of OceanGate. Let's take a look at Titan.
Stockton was designing a mousetrap for billionaires.
A submersible vessel which takes people to see the wreck of the Titanic has gone missing in the Atlantic Ocean.
Tonight, an international search operation is underway.
Yeah, that was.
I have a
Like the
story one time my
Titanic,
rugby
it was a
team and I went cliff
disaster
diving in the
just
middle of the
waiting
night and swam into a sea cave. That shit was sketchy.
Yeah, like it's almost as if your survival instincts tell you get the fuck out of there. I wonder if it's for a good reason. Huh. I guess we'll never know.
to happen.
I've broken some rules to make this. I think I've broken them with logic and good engineering behind me.
At some point, safety
Imagine saying I broke some rules to make this with like good intentions and engineering. Like just imagine being like, "Oh yes, I didn't follow like the safety guidelines. But it's for progress, y'all. It's for progress." And then it fucking implodes.
I'm alive.
Hello.
Has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body.
He quite literally and figuratively went out with the biggest bang.
Hi there, Sealam. I'm just here to say hi. I have to go to Oklahoma City to see my brand new nephew who was born about a month ago.
Oh my god!
CYA later.
Enjoy meeting your nephew!
For 2 billionaires.
Stockton was supposedly a very smart boy, a graduate of Princeton University, and the youngest jet transport pilot in the world.
I wanted to be an astronaut. That's why I got an engineering degree. I watched Star Trek, Star Wars, all the video, and I wanted to see those alien life forms. And eventually I realized, one, I wasn't going to go to space, and I wasn't going to get to Jupiter or Mars, but I did realize that all the cool stuff that I thought was out there is actually underwater.
Stockton had become an expert in aerospace engineering. He did this in hopes of becoming the first person to set foot on Mars. But unfortunately for Stockton, someone else was likely to beat him to it.
And one day, we will indeed occupy Mars.
Boo, 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 boo. Fuck you, Elon. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Die, 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 die,
Maybe
die.
that's why
Okay.
Stockton decided
I'm sorry.
the SpaceX of the ocean.
We always called ourselves SpaceX for the oceans. When I first met Stockton, he struck me as a very intelligent person. He also struck me as a very savvy engineer. Elon's doing the same thing at SpaceX, right?
So Stockton became an obsession with the ocean.
And what I wanted to do with the business...
Get that motherfucker.
excited about the...
I'm trying to come in. Hi, demon.
what was out there.
Stockton's philosophy was simple. Why would we use resources to explore space when we haven't even fully explored Earth and its oceans? There's so much to explore in the ocean, as only 25% has been mapped with modern
How long are you
technology.
going to stream for?
No idea.
Much less cost.
Probably an hour or something, maybe 2 hours.
I think the same thing's going to happen going underwater. It's going to get less expensive and much more accessible. That's where we're going to have cities, and that's where people are going to be. They're going to be down there exploring. To me, we'll have cities underwater before we have them up in space.
On the moon?
Yeah.
And this was Stockton's vision, an underwater city that would provide humans with sustainable resources for generations.
If you think about the Earth as really the landmass that we all occupy, then there are 3 planets worth of resources available in the ocean. Minerals, chemicals, biological. It is a vast, huge opportunity.
An opportunity that was being overlooked in favor of space exploration.
Establishing a self-sustaining base on Mars.
The future
Fuck you! Die!
We're not going to have a base on Mars.
Oh, well then I won't be here for the end of stream. I guess, early goodbye for the end of stream.
Alright.
There will still be hydrothermal vents, and there will still be those life forms down there that are living off chemosynthesis that don't need the sun. You know, when if we trash this planet, the best lifeboat for mankind is underwater.
But getting humans to the bottom of the ocean is a very difficult task. It's dangerous, it's expensive,
There's a regulatory challenge.
and the current regulations wouldn't allow Stockton to build a submarine that could go deeper than 150 feet.
I think over time, Stockton just realized that the only way we were going to be able to help humanity unlock the secrets of the ocean was to get past the regulations and just prove that it could be done.
Don't blame me if I fall, Alcip.
At some point, pure waste. I mean, if you just want to be safe, don't get out of bed, don't get in your car, don't do anything. At some point, you're going to take some risk, and it really is a risk-reward.
I think the lead really starting to get into his brain because this idea on its own, it's not bad. You should push boundaries, you should try new things, you should be innovative, but also to get to the point that, yeah, fuck all rules when a lot of them are there to fucking protect your life, it's stupid as fuck. Like, this man is losing it bit by bit, and I can tell.
Question. I said, I think I can do this just as safely by breaking the rules.
So for the next few years, Stockton continued breaking the rules. He'd go on to document his entire journey in 4K, and he'd give lectures on submarine safety along the way.
And one of the things I came up with are the myths. One is that subs are dangerous. In the last 35 years, there hasn't been a serious injury, and there have been over 15 million people go in them. But they're statistically the safest vehicles on the planet.
Lead
Stockton
paint
didn't
chips
always
go
have
burr.
this attitude towards safety. The early days of OceanGate were an entirely different story.
Only after a complete systems test is the OceanGate crew ready to dive.
The company's first sub was a vessel called Antipodes, and it was the perfect test sub for OceanGate.
It's our first sub, Antipodes, and we use that as our training sub. 58 inches diameter. It is about 15 feet long.
This sub had already been certified by the American Bureau of Shipping, so there was a very slim chance of it imploding. It was designed to withstand depths of around 1,000 feet, which is impressive, but nowhere near the depth of the Titanic.
This is where the Titanic is on the ocean floor, below 12,500 feet of water.
But OceanGate weren't ready for the Titanic just yet. At this point, they were just a local submarine team, and in the early days, their eyes were set on some lesser-known shipwrecks.
A local submarine team is exploring the wreck of a luxury passenger liner that sank 90 years ago this spring off the coast of Port Townsend.
Today we're doing our 3rd day of diving on the SS Governor.
The SS Governor was located in Washington, and it was often referred to as the area's mini Titanic.
The Governor was a luxury liner that was on its way from San Francisco to Seattle on April 1st, 1921. Shortly after midnight, it collided with a freighter. 8 of the 240 people on board went down with the ship.
For years, there have been rumors that it went down with a loaded safe.
The safe, the infamous safe.
That safe is believed to contain around $4 million worth of gold coins. At first, I thought OceanGate was trying to pull off a $4 million submarine heist. You know, just like the opening scene in the first Titanic movie.
It's payday, boys.
But as it turns out, even if they did happen to find the treasure, they would have been forced to hand it over to the man who owns its salvage rights. So I guess OceanGate weren't in this area for profit. They really just wanted to explore the area
In
and
the
test
first.
their new sub's capabilities.
The crew of the sub is practicing its approaches to the governor in 240 feet of water for a much more dangerous inspection of the Montebello at 900 feet down.
After the mini Titanic, OceanGate would move on to a much deeper shipwreck. Their goal was to ramp up the depths of their dives, one shipwreck at a time.
It's part of our ramp up to a California expedition that we're doing in September to a shipwreck called the SS Montebello.
The Montebello was a U.S. oil tanker that was torpedoed by a Japanese sub off the coast of California during World War II.
The SS Montebello
I swear
was
to
not
God,
another
I was
ship
hearing
holding
Ocean
treasure.
Gay this whole
In
time.
fact, it was quite the opposite.
Ocean
It
Gate.
went down with
Hi,
an estimated
Snarly.
70,000 barrels
We're watching Ocean Gate is worse than you thought.
of oil on board.
And it's posing a huge environmental threat to California's coastline.
OceanGate wanted to make a name for themselves by preventing this environmental threat, and their plan was to create a 3D map of the wreck using their new sonar technology.
The team is also testing the latest in 2- and 3-dimensional sonar equipment.
And we're taking
Ocean
our
Gay
sub
sounds
and
like a
moving
gay
sonar
cruise ship.
system down there to create a 3D
Yeah.
map of that wreck.
Not many people know about these expeditions, but they were a critical part of OceanGate's early days, and after mapping out that oil spill, they were ready for phase 2 of their company's mission.
An historic Washington State
Hi baby,
tragedy
MWA,
is helping head off
MWA,
a future one.
MWA, overslept, see.
In Seattle, Gary Chittum, King 5 News.
This local submarine team was taking over the ocean. Stockton increases the budget, and after 130 successful dives, investors were asking the same question. Was this team going to be the next SpaceX? Name of the company, OceanGate Incorporated. It's a cutting-edge, high-tech firm out of the Midwest awaiting imminent patent approval on the next generation of submersible vehicles. Right now, the stock trades over the counter at 10 cents a share. But with the collaboration of one of hip-hop's biggest stars, our analysts indicate it could go a heck of a lot higher than that. Macklemore was on top of the world in 2014. It was the year he won 4 Grammys.
Cherry
Lol.
looks so cute.
The Wolf of Wall Street over the video is perfect. I know. Hi Milky, it's been so long. How you doing, bestie? I'm making them watch Ocean Gate is worse than you thought while I drop my friends. Yeah, hope you're doing well. I'm doing all right. I'm getting ready for my re-debut. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. He looks so peggable. You're gonna love it. Much if you can get Milky a shout out, I appreciate that. I'm so excited for you. Yee! There you go. Thank you. Hello. Yeah. Lol, the peggable is the standard now. It should be. As
Why
it
are they
should
putting
be.
a gate in the ocean? Are they stupid?
Right? They are stupid. But yeah, thank you so much for passing by, Milky. I appreciate it. That's super kind of you. I'ma go back to autism and draw. But
He indeed looks P-E-G-G-A-B-L-E.
He indeed looks peggable. Yeah.
Grammy Awards.
And the Grammy goes to Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
But his most underrated win that year was his collaboration with Stockton Rush.
I think we're gonna find sharks.
The pair would team up in search of the incredibly rare 6-gill shark, a trait that was very uncommon amongst most shark species.
What is the probability that we will see a shark today?
Somewhere between 0 and 100.
Macklemore had been a fan of sharks his entire life, and he was pretty skeptical that Stockton would find a shark as rare as the 6-gill.
If we don't see a shark, you'll buy me a shark.
Little one.
A baby shark. Yeah, baby. All right. That's a deal.
Good deal. Okay.
McKillmore. I used to mistake
But
his
little
name
did
for
he know,
McKerrillmore.
They would find a shark. In that
Lamau.
yellow submarine, under 400 feet of water, Stockton and Macklemore were going to create memories that would last forever.
Oh my god!
6-gill. 6-gill. Top side. We have a 6-gill at the viewport.
Very exciting. Didn't think it was gonna happen. Pulled it out. Our mission is complete.
It has been an unbelievable experience, something that I will absolutely never forget.
Gro, I'm going great white cage diving at the end of the year. Tee face with hand over mouth sharks are fantastic.
Oh.
Kai's cave is tighter than that sub imploding.
Shut the fuck up.
And that was it. That was the business model at the time for OceanGate.
We do dives looking for 6-gill sharks and things like that that are at 5,000.
It's a very unusual business.
It's its own category. It's a new type of travel.
And eventually, they'd be selling tickets to the Titanic for up to $250,000
Hi Kai, hi chat.
a person.
Coming in to say
However,
hi
it
before
wasn't
sleeping
going to
again.
be in Antipodes. Remember, this
Enjoy
Euro
the
sub was only
rest.
certified for dives that were 1/12 the depth of the Titanic. And unfortunately for Stockton, you couldn't just buy or rent a sub that was capable of going 12,500 feet. Stockton
See,
believed it
with the
was
proper
strict laws
preparation,
and
navigating
regulations that
tight
were
caves can be
preventing him
much
from
easier.
innovating the
It just
submersible
takes some
industry.
experience.
So he came
Hee
to the
hee.
conclusion
Ah,
that
I
he only
see.
had one
Not that I would
reasonable
know.
option remaining.
Don't be surprised,
building his
Kai.
own sub.
Harry Australian.
Initially, we didn't think we were going to build our own subs. We thought we were going to get somebody else to build our subs. The industry standard just wouldn't allow for them to build what we felt we needed and what we thought humanity needed to explore.
I finally
the
bought a
oceans.
second monitor, so now I can play
They
Minecraft
break the
and watch
rules
Sealam.
act now,
Yippee,
and they
good
ask for
job,
forgiveness
enjoy your
later. In the
Minecraft.
game, they decided to give their first custom-built sub.
Cyclops, a new manned submersible, now undergoing sea trials.
There you go. That's pretty good right there. Okay.
It was time to go all in. Stockton was going to ignore the industry's strict rules and regulations. It was time to prove them all wrong.
Cyclops is going to be a very useful tool for any organization, company, or institution that needs to go underwater and perform tasks at depth.
Cyclops is the newest creation.
DIDI, here's Cyclops. Oh no, Odysseus, get out of there.
Physics Laboratory.
Odysseus, no!
Without that partnership, you know, the Applied Physics Lab has been effectively our engineering partner.
But this wasn't going to be a usual submarine. Stockton wanted to create the most simple and easy to use submarine on the market.
Stockton is very interested in being able
Epic
to
reference.
quickly train pilots. Have
Yeah.
pilots be able to come in and use this thing without having to go through weeks of training on there.
Solution? This video game controller.
Where do you get the experience if you aren't supposed to go cave diving till you have it?
First thing is there are two dead man
No.
switches. You have to press one of these buttons, and now it's ready to go.
And in 2015, the sub
I
was
think
ready
that's
to
stupid
go.
as
So
fuck.
Stockton-
I think that's
Did
lazy.
Poseidon swim by and go, oh, not this shit again?
For real, for real. Hey, look at this, I implode. Like, I think the idea
Sealam
of...
knows a thing or two about cave diving.
Yeah, no, I definitely, you know, I don't know if this is a controversial...
Woke up from a nap to see the man that thought he could visit the Titanic in a Monster Energy can was always going to end up crushed.
Right, I know! It was so stupid! I think that his idea of let's
It's
make,
called
like...
spelunking.
I think the idea of making, like, diving more accessible is not a bad idea on its own, but, like, giving it access to everyone, there's gonna be a fuck ton of
Who
casualties.
the
We're
hell decided
not.
to use a damn controller with possible stick drift?
Right! We are not at the stage to let people just dive deep into the ocean. Are you mad? The ocean is fucking dangerous. Just the pressure of water alone. You wanna be a tin can?
Then organized the big reveal, and the
I'm trying to
christening
dive in
ceremony
someone's
was
cave.
set to begin.
Good luck.
I can't believe Sealam is more watertight than an actual submarine.
Cyclops.
Sealam's where you go to get your diving license.
Oh my god.
Natural selection is a thing for a reason.
Yeah.
All of our test program has been about
Yeah.
incremental testing. We started over 2 years ago.
It's
with
actually not
Cyclops
unbelievable
1.
to have the
Out here,
PS3
this
controller
is really
control the submarine. That's because the PS3 has no games. Kai R2D2, it looks cute XD.
that component is safe and capable of handling depths down to 4,000
Blood
meters
bought a pirated
repeatedly.
game controller to visit the Titanic. This billionaire didn't even attempt to get an Xbox controller.
Cyclops wasn't the final product.
When can I sign up for this lesson's LMAO?
Although Stockton didn't
Nah,
like
it'd
that
make
name
more
very
sense
much,
for a
so they
PS5 controller then.
rebranded.
PS3 had games.
Hi, my name is Stockton Rush. I'm the CEO
Richmond
and
want to
founder
go
of
to
Ocean
Mars.
Gate. Let's take a look
Sir
at
Richmond
If you
can't
thought
even go to the
Cyclops was
ocean loudly
simplistic,
crying.
just wait till
Yeah.
you see its success.
Honestly, I hope they do, because if they do, they're gonna rush. And if they rush, there's more chances they can die.
We have our control screen here, our sonar screen here, and we can
Wait,
put any
they
image
used
we
a
want in the
PS3
back.
controller.
of the
A
only
Yep.
controller that's known for locking up and being slippery.
Yep.
Man, what the hell?
Yep.
Sort of.
There
Couldn't
were
even get
some
an
parts
Xbox
that
second-hand
kind of
controller.
looked like they held
How cheap
together,
can a billionaire
Yet I
get?
couldn't help noticing how many pieces of this sub seemed improvised.
We can use these off-the-shelf components.
I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller.
They should have used keyboard and mouse instead of a
And so what
PS3
if people
controller.
laugh? Titan was fully operational in just a few years. And it was all made possible with the leadership of Stockton Rush.
I think you did it, Stockton.
There's some luck here.
This man didn't level up his diving skill tree before attempting the dungeon.
Yep.
Maybe.
And as days became months, and months became years, that little sub was passing every test imaginable.
This is why you want your pilot
Fucking-
to be an engineer.
Felix just assaulted me with a chocolate bar. They just entered my room in complete silence and just tossed the chocolate bar at me. They're like, get attacked. It's my favorite. It's the Hershey's cookies and cream. They're my favorite.
Could you take a bite? Get chocolated.
It's my fucking favorite. Of course I'm gonna take a bite.
Wouldn't be the first time.
I see. Ah, they should good. Ow. Thank you. That's very nice of them.
I can't believe you, Felix. Could you do it again? At least they'd have been crushed in style and comfort in an actual camper. Yum.
He believed that building this sub would help him unlock the secrets of the ocean. But
How
Stockton
cute.
wasn't building his own submarine. He was building
Bussy and
his own
creams.
coffin.
It's very good it can do what it does when you look at it there, because when you look at it, it is very small. Yeah, it looks like it's put together with a piece of string, but it's not, obviously.
We can scale to multiple vehicles relatively quickly because we've used.
Throw jelly beans next time. No, wait. Fops throw Taco Bell at him.
No.
It'd called conditioning. First he slaps your face with a chocolate
So
bar
Stockton
then.
plans to create even more low-budget submersibles.
Felix just say them.
And soon enough, he was going to have his own fleet of submarines. The only question being, were they safe?
Oh, very well.
Absolutely fucking not. I'd like to be remembered as an innovator. I think it was General MacArthur said, "You're remembered for the rules you break." And I've broken some rules to make this. I think I've broken them with logic and good engineering behind me. The carbon fiber and titanium, there's a rule you don't do that. Well, I did.
The most controversial feature of Titan was its carbon fiber hull. This was
Oh, yeah, I
considered
hear this shit.
controversial because the industry standard
Do you get remembered
material
for the
was
submarines you
titanium.
break?
Engineers zero in on titanium, a super strong and lightweight material that would allow deep-sea vehicles to reach the
He
Titanic.
sounds like Ben
It is with
Shapiro.
this material
This was the
that
first
today's
sign
most
that things were not
inventive
going to go well.
submarine builders continue to push technology forward to penetrate the ocean's deepest regions.
Stockton didn't
Felix throw a sunfish at him.
No!
The way they talk about off-the-shelf components is fucking crazy.
Right? Also, I wish I could... I want to have...
Don't worry, you're an innovator, sir. You innovated your own coffin. I hope James Cameron makes a movie of how stupid this man was.
Technology forward.
I
You
just
will
want...
be remembered as a meme bro, which is quite the achievement if you ask me.
Yeah.
No way the
Yeah.
narrator said that without knowing what that could mean, lol.
I just want this... I just want to have this as a sound alert.
To penetrate the
And that's it. Just to penetrate.
ocean's deepest regions.
But Stockton didn't like titanium. He believed carbon fiber was the better material.
Sealan likes to have his deepest regions penetrated.
Buoyancy than titanium. And underwater, that's what you care about. It's not strength to weight, it's strength to buoyancy. And yet no one had done that.
Titan was able to skirt the law by operating in international waters, and although it passed multiple test dives, many believed the carbon fiber hull was slowly being damaged over time.
If the sub passed its pressure test, it wasn't going to fail on the first dive, but it's going to fail over time.
Ocean's deepest
fail on
regions
dive
would be a
7,
fun sound alert
which
for
is
bits.
insidious. You don't get that with steel or with titanium.
Carbon fiber is a great material. It's better than titanium. It's better than a lot of other
It
materials.
can only be enjoyed
When I
deep.
started the business, old-timers in the industry told me I was nuts, and they continue to tell me that.
So Stockton continued operating his carbon fiber sub, recording the entire
Just imagine you in the
assembly
sub and the last thing you
process
see
along the
before you got imploded on was a
That will be the
sunfish.
pressure vessel
Oh,
for
God.
Phase 2. We'll go to 4,000 meters. It'll be the deepest diving carbon fiber sub ever built. When it goes to 4,000 meters.
I'm currently eating dill pickle flavored jelly beans while pondering this.
It's pretty simple. but if you mess it
Provecho.
up, there's not a lot of recovery.
With his goal being to explore the bottom of the ocean, you'd reasonably expect some sort of certification from a third-party agency. However, Titan was never certified by any regulatory body, and that's because Stockton believed that these agencies were
Over the top in their rules and regulations.
Cherie looks like he's waiting for the accident to happen LMAO.
It would.
People used to say I was nuts. Yeah, no shit, my guy, you have literally become an example of what not to do.
Right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to tell how far outside the box you really are. And we were pretty far out there. So we have a carbon fiber hull.
His thoughts about breaking the rules is really about thinking outside the box and coming up with innovative solutions.
I mean, anything when you're trying something outside the box, people inside the box think you're nuts. Same thing when Elon Musk was doing SpaceX. Inside the box, everything's scary.
Titan continued to pass every test that Stockton could throw at it, and eventually...
The fact that he used
You
Elon
just
Musk.
said they were over the top of rules and regulations.
Yeah, no, but also, bitch, the fact that he used Elon Musk
Is
as
this
a
man gay for Elon Musk?
he used him
Are
as
they
a positive
cats, or why
example.
are they obsessed with boxes?
He used him
You
as
know
a
what this
positive
reminds me
fucking...
of? When Megatron bashed a random submarine for being too low in a comic. I swear I don't have the tism.
Of course, Tasker. Of course, you know. He fucking used Elon Musk as a positive example on how to break the rules. Death penalty right there.
Titan needed a new milestone, a new goal to reach. So
Everything
can you
this
guess where it
man
was
says
headed
has
next?
aged like milk.
The goal
Oh,
was,
yeah.
where do you want to go in the ocean? What is the most known site in the ocean? And it's clearly the Titanic.
Titanic is just such a huge draw.
It became.
Does
a
anyone else
must-do
like black
dive.
licorice
I read
jelly
an article
beans?
that said there are 3 words
Nope.
in the English language that are
I don't like
known
licorice.
throughout
No,
the
it
planet,
isn't.
And that's Coca-Cola, God, and Titanic.
If you ever watched the 1997 movie, you'd know it's a combination of both history and fiction. The film centers around the fictional love triangle of Rose, Jack, and Caledon. And when shit hits the fan,
When you prove every
get to
expert
see the
100%
character's true
correct plus
colours.
10 points extra credit.
Yeah.
Look to him. To be a gutter rat.
I'd rather be his than your wife.
but remember, this story was just fictional. However, on the other side of the ship,
I want
we
chicken
get
nuggets.
a glimpse of the story that kicks off our sequel,
Tap in your
Titanic
mouth.
2.
Please, Ida, get into the boat.
This man is a perfect example of how
This
rich
is
people are
Isidore
not
and Ida
smart and are high on their own
Strauss.
overinflated egos.
Yep. Yep.
Into the boat. No!
This is Isidore and Ida Strauss, 2 passengers who were actually on board the Titanic in 1912. Their tale is well documented and has been recreated in various films and musicals.
We've been together for 40 years, and where you go, I go.
Oh!
Don't argue with me.
You know, this rich guy doing this reminds me of how I think cartoon villains are too stupid.
Isidore and Ida
Yeah.
would go
Turns out
down
it was
with
very
the ship in
accurate.
1912, but not before having a number of descendants. One of them being the communications director at Ocean Gate, and who also just so happened to be married to a man named Stockton. And
The fucking timing was perfect. So, okay, that explains his obsession with the fucking Titanic.
maybe that's why Stockton was so obsessed with continuously going down to the Titanic.
And our goal was to
Lamau.
go back to the Titanic year after year, scan it with sonar, and document the wreck and its decay and discover what we can discover.
And so the stage was set for the adventure of a lifetime. But Stockton couldn't fund these expeditions on his own, so he began advertising his once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to the public. And the now deleted promotional video was set to be released.
Also, this is akin to how some VTubers are with their egos loudly crying.
Offers you the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be a specially trained crew member safely diving to the Titanic wreckage.
Safely diving.
Get ready for what Jules Verne could only imagine. A 12,500-foot journey to the bottom of the sea. It's the Ocean Gate Titanic experience.
We partnered with aerospace experts at the University of Washington, NASA, and Boeing on the design of our hull.
It's
Safety
very well
diving.
engineered and
Final
very
last
safe,
words.
but
Yep.
The team is very focused on safety first.
Not 1 second of me experiencing anything from Ocean Gate have I ever felt unsafe.
As I pointed out on the bridge earlier, your safety plans
I
are
hate to
on the
point this
vessel.
out, but if this happens just in our ocean, it's gonna be scary as hell when similar happens in space.
But it's gonna be billionaire, Snarly. Think about that. Doesn't that give you peace of mind?
Opportunity to be part
What
of
Jules
history.
Verne could only imagine,
The
dying in
Ocean
one of the
Gate
most horrifying
Titanic
ways imaginable.
experience.
Yep.
There's truly nothing else like it.
Thank you for the follow.
But
Welcome.
this wasn't just another episode of Black Mirror, nor was it an episode of The Twilight Zone. This was reality. And although quite a few people were eager to get themselves a ticket, there was still one question that remained.
What's the
the level of danger with this type of expedition?
Well, surprisingly, the safest part of the expedition will be the submarine part. In the last 35 years, there hasn't been an injury on a commercial, private sub.
Bunny Boy Sealam 11ANGEL.
Yeah.
Going to sea is intrinsically a,
Still feel
risky
bad for the
activity,
kid who only went on it to
but
try
we're
and
doing
bond with
everything
his
we can
dad.
to make sure that it's as safe and comfortable as possible.
Well, Stockton Rush.
Stockton went on quite a few media runs during this period, with the goal of highlighting OceanGate's mission.
Our rule is we risk capital, we don't risk people.
The media coverage of the incident
I wonder the
flew into
alternate
the
universe
once-in-a-lifetime
where that man convinced
opportunity.
Elon to go visit the Titanic.
There are these rust
I'd
formations.
probably be
That's
safer
actually
trying to
what's
wrangle a
left
6
over from
meters
bacteria
crocodile than
that's
going on this sub.
consuming it at a huge
Yep.
rate.
Really? So we may not be able to see it forever. So go get into a submersible now.
Finally, the crew seems
The kid didn't go to bond with his dad, to my memory.
There were checklists.
He did it because the father basically forced him on.
And after every dive.
I mean, I guess that's more personal details. There's only so much we can know about that.
Rule. If 3 things seemed out of the ordinary, no matter how minor, they'd cancel the dive.
But the media coverage after Titan's implosion was an entirely different story.
Everyone I know keeps asking me the same question. Why would you get on that dangerous sub?
A 60-minute special identifying over 30 members of the maritime community who warned Stockton about Titan's safety procedures, and a chief submersible pilot who was fired and subsequently sued for speaking out against OceanGate.
If someone raised a safety concern, as the chief pilot did, they were not only not listened to, they were silenced.
But with all that being said, if you did manage to get a ticket to the Titan expedition, you can't say that Stockton didn't warn you.
This is an experimental sub. People are informed that it's very dangerous down there. It's an open book here. Do you have any questions about what's going on, about acoustic monitoring, about carbon fiber problems we had, rumors of problems we had, actual problems we had? You know, feel free to ask. You know, we're happy to show everything. We want everyone
Silence,
going into
but
this
still alive.
fully informed.
Yeah.
This is an experimental sub. This is a dangerous environment. It's 6,000 PSI. Very few people have been down there. And so we want to make sure that you're going in with an open eye and you understand what's going on. If you don't want to do it at any time, feel free to say, hey, I want to take a pass, and we can work something out. You know, maybe bring you another year or something else. But, you know, really want to make sure you're aware of all this.
And as a last-ditch effort to limit their liability, you'd also have to sign OceanGate's waiver.
An experimental submersible vessel that has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body and could result in physical injury, disability, emotional trauma.
They literally glued the caps on the ends, loudly crying.
Where do I sign?
The fact that they were playing both sides, like, oh yeah, this is dangerous, but it's so safe, y'all, give us money, but it's dangerous, so if something happens to you, then we're not legally responsible. But it's fine. Like, you get, like, what the fuck? Like, hell no.
23. The OceanGate
Work
Titanic
something out for another year.
experience
You
is
wish,
set
bro.
to begin.
Yeah.
5 crew members are sealed into the submersible, and so is their fate.
CEO Stockton Rush, businessman Hamish Harding,
French explorer Paul-Henri Nargeolet,
Businessman Shahzada Dawood and his 19-year-old son Suleiman were on the expedition as part of a Father's Day trip.
Everything was going according to plan.
One of the questions about this is how risky is going in the sub. Turns out in this expedition, probably the safest thing will be once you're underwater. You know, once I'm a couple of feet underwater, I know I'm coming back. I know everybody's coming back.
Typical behavior of the business.
In just under 2 hours, Titan had lost communication with its mothership, but the crew at the surface did not file a missing report for nearly 8 hours.
8 hours.
Finally,
Is the YouTube
someone
guy
snapped.
USINH Naruto music?
Well, yeah.
All according to
during
Kate.
an underwater mission to tour the Titanic wreckage.
Tonight, an international search operation is underway.
We'll continue to put every available asset that we have in an effort to find the Titan and the crew members.
Every news station in the world was in on this story. They brought in experts, former passengers, hell, they even got James Cameron on the line.
Stockton Rush asked me if I wanted to go out there and dive this season. You know, I wasn't interested.
And then came the rumors. A leaked transcript of the crew's final moments and a series of tapping sounds.
They knew at that time the sub was imploded too.
Titan's last known location. But of course, both of these rumors were declared fake by the feds.
Tapping sounds are ridiculous.
All that was left was a few hours of oxygen and a race against time.
Have just hours of oxygen left now, heightening the race against time to rescue the 5 people inside.
Time was running out. And well, they did end up finding that submarine.
Debris from the Titan has been brought to the surface from the ocean floor. Several pieces of the doomed vessel.
Once the pressure vessel is, you're certain it's not going to collapse on everybody, everything else can fail. Your thrusters can go, your lights can...
Yeah, that's encouraging. Also, I got done with Sherry. I might draw more people.
Wait a minute. The irony of this music being used is that one of the first scenes it was used is when someone used a water attack that can collapse someone's skull and crossbones. Dying in water is my biggest fear.
Yeah, fuck no. Heck no. Heck no. Also, I need a second, guys. I need to go to the bathroom. I'll go pee real quickly. Be right back.
Okay, I know this is a really bad idea, but I'm already here, so here we fucking go. Rawr! Extra noses pounces on you, ooh, you're so warm. Couldn't help but notice your bolts from across the floor. Noses your necky wacky till day till day, hee hee. Unzips your baggiest pants, oh baby, you so musky. Take me home, pet me, and make me yours, and don't forget to stuff me. See me like my widow baby, tail for your bulgy bulgy. Kisses and lickies your neck.
Well, this is certainly a song.
Suzzles and wuzzles your chest. I be getting thirsty. Hey, I got a little itch. You think you can help me?
Only 7 inches long. Ooh, please adopt me.
I lick my lips.
Ooh, punish me, please.
Thank you, DJ.
You didn't see it coming. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back.
They had an awful reputation, and for good reason.
The fucking music changed.
Many
Ha, you tried.
were on the bottom of the ocean. So much so that the
You're
submarine
welcome.
service had earned the nickname the Coffin Service. In 1939, one of the worst of these incidents.
Wait, what? Sub sinks into the ocean. What? What did it change? Hold on.
In 1912,
Okay, we were here.
Threat to California.
We saw that.
And that was it. That was the business model at the time for
Oh,
Ocean
Ye
Gate.
forgot to say something else about the music. The scene it was used in was an attack called Water Prison.
Yeah, you said that. You said that.
Cyclops 2 began development.
Oh,
a
wait,
few
no,
years
you
later,
described that.
Although Stockton didn't like that name very much, so they rebranded to Titan.
Hi, my name is Stockton Rush.
The feature of Titan was its carbon fiber hull. Though it's a combination of both history and fiction, the film centers around
on our next expedition.
Seemed to foster a culture of safety. There were
Take a pass, and we can work something out. Maybe bring you another.
This is an experimental sub. People are informed.
Okay, around here
There are
is fine.
dangers down there.
It's an open book here. Do you have any questions about what's going on, about acoustic monitoring, about carbon fiber problems we had, rumors of problems we had, actual problems we had? You know, feel free to ask. You know, we're happy to show everything. We want everyone going into this fully informed. This is an experimental sub. This is a dangerous environment. It's 6,000 PSI. Very few people have been down there. And so we want to make sure that you're going in with an open eye and you understand what's going on. If you don't want to do it at any time, feel free to say, hey, I want to take a pass, and we can work something out. You know, maybe bring you another year or something else. But, you know, really want to make sure you're aware of all this.
And as a last-ditch effort to limit their liability, you'd also have to sign Ocean Gate's waiver.
An experimental submersible vessel that has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body and could result in physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, or death. Where do I sign?
Yeah, so encouraging, right?
June 18th, 2023. The Ocean
There
Gate
you go.
Titanic experience is set to begin.
Are reporting the dive as a go. Please stand by.
5 crew members are sealed into the submersible,
Egg.
and so is their fate.
Yeah, I'm drawing him too.
Stockton Rush, businessman Hamish Harding,
French explorer Paul-Henri Nargeolet.
Businessman Shahzada Dawood and his 19-year-old son Suleiman were on the expedition as
Eglum.
part of a Father's Day trip.
Everything was going according to plan.
Lol.
One of the questions about this is how risky is going in the sub. Turns out in this expedition, probably the safest thing will be once you're underwater. You know, once I'm a couple of feet underwater, I know I'm coming back. I know everybody's coming back.
Kai, do you still want to eat egg?
Eat
Make
him?
Harry
Just
go
under
to sleep.
2 hours.
Eat him? Oh, Harry's not going to sleep. Go bed, go bed, go bed, Harry. You should go to bed, go to bed. And about eating egg, do you mean cannibalism? Or
Titan
like
had lost
gog
communication
gog?
with its mothership, but the crew at the surface did not file a missing report for nearly 8 hours. Finally, someone snapped.
Call the fucking Coast Guard.
Vessel disappeared during an underwater mission to tour the Titanic wreckage.
I think someone should do a video from an underwater drone, showing the cusp of when things sink to low in the waters and implode, just to show people what happens. Obviously,
Yeah.
unmanned things.
Yeah.
I guess both.
Effort to
I mean, yeah, I would make burgers with his chest. And go. Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not?
to find the Titan and the crew members.
Every news station in the world was in on this story. They brought in experts, former passengers, hell, they even got James Cameron on the line.
Stockton Rush asked me if I wanted to go out there and dive this season. You know, I wasn't interested.
And then came the rumors. A leaked transcript of the crew's final moments and a series of tapping sounds were supposedly
Who's
heard
Egg?
around Titan's last known location.
Oh, Egg is this VTuber. His name is Yandor Egg. We've collabed a few times.
Both of these rumors were declared fake by the feds.
Tapping sounds ridiculous.
What is your drawing
All
pad
that
and
was
program
left
do you
was
use?
A few hours of
I
oxygen.
use
Oh, right.
Paint Tool Say 2 with a little add-on to make it a little bit more dark mode. And I have Wacom Intuos Pro. Yeah.
And a race against time.
Have just hours of oxygen left now, heightening the race against time to rescue the 5 people inside.
Time was running out. And well, they did end up finding that submarine.
Debris from the Titan has been brought to the surface from the ocean floor. Several pieces of the doomed vessel.
Once the pressure vessel is, you're certain it's not going to collapse on everybody, everything else can fail. Your thrusters can go, your lights can...
Kulo con caca.
Thanks. I knew that was Felix. The way I knew it was Felix. The way I knew. I'm like, yeah, that's Felix. That has to be. That fucking has to be. Y'all want to watch the Cost of Concordia of Internet Historian? Y'all want to watch that? It's 40 minutes. I already watched it, but
sure.
I like it. Also, hi Moemi. Hi Moemi. The Cost of Concordia from Internet Historian. It's pretty good. I like it. It's about a big boat that also did stupid things.
The Costa Concordia. Ship of dreams. It's been 8 years. I can still smell the buffets from their 5 restaurants. The casino and 3-story theater had hardly.
Also, thank you for the 3,000 biddies. Thank you, Harry.
Fine, I'll sleep.
How have you been? Yeah, go sleep, go sleep, go sleep. Take care, cutie. Goodbye. Hello, I'm doing alright. I'm watching videos with chat and I'm drawing my friends.
The gym, the day spa, the sheets in her 1,500 luxurious cabins hadn't even been slept in. Costa Concordia cost $570 million to build. And you could tell. You could really tell. I remember it like it was just a few years ago. We had left Civitavecchia, a port in Rome, and we were making our way to Savona. It was day 2 of our 7-day journey. But that ship, she was cursed.
Oh my god.
When she premiered, the traditional bottle of champagne bounced right off the side instead of smashing. A bad omen, but I'm not the superstitious type. Nothing could go wrong on Friday the 13th of January, 2012, on the 100th year anniversary of the Titanic, on a ship that's also only safety rated for 2-compartment flooding, especially not when you have a 5-star max-level captain like Francisco Scatino, a man who mysteriously rose from head of security to the position of captain within just a couple of years. He knows exactly what to do in case of an emergency.
Thank you for the follow, honeydew.
For example, when he caused this emergency in 2008, when he crashed into a port in Sicily. And in 2010, in Warnemünde, Germany, when he was steering a different ship and came into port too fast and caused another collision. I've got a good feeling about this. So let's set the scene. It's a beautiful evening. People are having fun on the slides, drinks at the bar. Antonio Magnotta is playing piano at the restaurant. Martin the Magician is setting up for his show. And the ship is setting up for a little detour. It's called a sail-by salute. Basically, you get real close to the shore and honk the horn. The locals hate it, but the customers love it, and it's a tradition. Scatino, the captain, comes into
I like the cut of that man's jib.
Dominating Sir Morton. Remember this face, because you'll be seeing a lot of it later. Scatino eats his dinner with her, and socializes for a little while. Then he, Dominica, and the maitre d' finish up and excuse themselves. They're heading to the bridge.
I just realized this stream is appeasing to my ad cause watching 2 different things at the same time.
Really? Amazing. Next time it'll be Subway Surfer.
Just 1,500 feet from the island of Giglio. And how are they going to determine this distance? Well, of course, the captain is going to eyeball it. Apparently it's not an uncommon thing to do. Scatino turns to the fella steering, his helmsman, Jacob Ruslibin. First interesting tidbit. Costa Crociere has hired Jacob from Indonesia at a rock-bottom price, and he's a bit of a newbie to the job. In fact, his profession hitherto, a painter and a cleaner. It's his first time steering a massive ship, and he's very excited.
At least, we think he is. It's hard to tell because he doesn't speak English or Italian very well at all. Off to a good start. The second in command orders the helmsman to 290. Now, don't be confused by these numbers, they're just the degrees on a compass. At the same time, the captain whips out his cell phone and calls former captain Mario Palombo, who lives on the island. They chat about the safe distance to Giglio's shores. It's all very casual. Anyway, Mario says that the safe distance is between 0.3 and 0.4 miles from shore. The captain is going all in. This is not his first sail by salute, so he's confident in what he's doing. We're going closer than we've ever been before. The captain's eyeballing it again. New heading of 300, he tells the helmsman. Downstairs, Martin is about to cut his assistant in half. And of course, that means that there's already a lady inside this box. She's waiting for the cue, and then she'll poke her legs out. The captain is giving more orders. Pulling gently to 310. Increase speed to 16 knots. Going this fast is going to be a fatal error. But before we talk about that, let's talk about another big problem. Language barrier. Because at this point, the captain says 325.
Boat drifting.
But the helmsman relays 315. So the first officer intervenes and he goes, no, 335, which is also wrong. And then the captain clarifies, no, 325. The helmsman confirms 325. Their poor communication has them moving at a much wider angle than they think they are. However, the captain should and would know this, except for the next problem, complacency about procedure. The standard procedure of a ship this large is for the third officer to give exact positional coordinates every time the captain gives a new directional order. But they're not doing that. 330, he says. The helmsman relays 330. The ship reaches 16 knots. The captain then turns to the second officer and instructs him to go to the left wing. That's these things here, and they basically exist so you can get a better view over the whole vessel. A few seconds pass, and then the mood starts to turn. Scatino notices white foam of waves breaking against the rocks directly in front of him in the distance. The Costa Concordia, right now, is almost 700 meters closer to the rocks than it should be.
It's
Without
so sad when
deviation,
people die
there is
from
going
others'
to be
dumb
a
mistakes.
direct
I know.
Oh, shit!
I
Scatino
agree.
immediately commands the ship to start turning away. 335. Not enough. The captain shouts, 340. The captain yells, 350. Now, remember how I said that accelerating to 16 knots was a fatal error? Well, that's because it's made this ship incapable of such a drastic turn. What they've got is understeer.
You
Here's
sunk
an
my
example.
battleship.
Your front end is not working. You're turning, and you're just going straight. You want to go over here, but you're going to end up over here.
So despite the order of 350, right now the bow is still only pointing at 327. Not nearly enough to miss the rock. And oh no, it's about to get worse. That language barrier again. In these critical moments where every second counts, the helmsman wrongly relays 340. The captain snaps back, 350 starboard or we end up on the rocks. The third officer goes to assist the helmsman. Now, don't get confused by the orders from here. We're changing over to rudder instructions. The captain yells, starboard 10, starboard 20, and still it's not enough. Hard to starboard. That means as hard as it'll go. But at this point, even if they clear these rocks, they need to get the rest of the ship to swing around it. So the captain yells, midship, which centers the rudder. The bow is now less than 150 meters from Skull Rock. Port 10. But the helmsman only gets to port 5 before another order is given 2 seconds later. Port 20. They might just avoid disaster here, maybe. But then, oh no. One more time, the helmsman cocks up at the worst possible moment. The helmsman goes to starboard instead of port, undoing the swing. 8 seconds later, he realizes the error and corrects, but it's too late. He has just turned a probable near miss into a sure hit. All they can do now is hold on as the bow of the ship narrowly passes by the rocks. Hard to port! The second officer yells,
So intense, isn't it?
Collision.
Ho ho ho! I don't want to be in the boat. I don't want to be in the boat.
That's rough, buddy.
Downtown, Nordtown.
This is NordVPN. I'm gonna skip it for a sec, because I don't keep watching this.
Not a DA pasta.
Not the
It's
pasta.
rocks on the port side. A 53-meter gash opens up in the hull, and thousands of tons of water begin pouring in. A loud scraping and bang is heard by all passengers. At the helm, there's panic. Rumblings in the dining room. Martin awkwardly pauses his act as he's helping his assistant into the box. Meanwhile, the lady inside is trapped and terrified. There's confusion across the ship. All of the crew off shift come back on duty. All officers run to the bridge. Technical crews run down to the lower decks to assess damage. On connection with the rocks, they lose propulsion and slow to 8.3 knots. And they are now adrift. Close the watertight doors at stern. Enormous volumes of water are pouring in. So much so that within 29 seconds of collision, all 6 engines stop working through flooding. 22 seconds later, a blackout happens. Lights, electrics, the water pumps too, everything. The captain orders the helmsman hard starboard. This is the final position of the rudder before power to that too is lost. The Costa Concordia, now without power, is drifting starboard, plunged into absolute darkness. A quick breakdown of the flooding. When the Concordia struck land, it tore open 3 watertight compartments. At first, compartment 5, which filled very rapidly. Then 6 more slowly, 4 shortly after. Then 7, 8 and 3. Modern ships are built to withstand 2 compartment breaches. These compartments especially though are a problem, because they contain the engines and the electrics. These main generators give power to the whole ship. From propulsion motors to rudder to hotel functions, pretty much everything. When they went out, the ship was a functionless, sinking cage. A few seconds later, the emergency batteries for internal lighting and communications kick on. When the lights come back on, Martin has vanished. He's ditched the stage, and it caused a huge panic in the theatre as passengers are trying to flee to their cabins and to muster stations. People already in their cabins come out and start putting on life vests. Staff rally and try to calm everyone down. Everything is fine. There's no need for vests. Please return to your cabins. The emergency generator starts. All of the watertight doors close except for door 12.
What are you working on right now? Different
jammed.
perspectives? Yeah, I'm practicing different face perspectives, and I'm using my friends as like.
This is so funny, but dear God, it's such a nightmare at the same time.
Oh yeah, I know. I feel the exact same way, bitch. This is how I feel watching these kind of videos. It's like this is so informative, but also I can't imagine how terrifying it is to be in that fucking boat. Hell no.
The captain calls Pilon, the chief engineer, as the ship begins to list on the port side. There's water coming in? Yes, there's water. But where? The engine room. But a lot of water? Yes! There's water, you can't go down. Let's go down the other side. In a moment we'll start the pumps, I'll let you know. In the theatre, the whole magic box apparatus slides right off the stage and falls into the crowd, further increasing panic. On the bridge, an announcement is being prepared. They are going to lie to prevent a panic. Let's just say we have a blackout. The deputy chief engineer enters the engine control room. He confirms to the bridge that at least compartments 5, 6, and 7 are flooded. Announcements are made.
The captain to inform you that due to an electrical fault, which is currently under control, we're currently in a blackout. Our technicians are working to resolve the situation and we'll inform you of developments as they occur. Thank you for your attention.
Coincidentally, at the same time in the restaurant, they're playing My Heart Will Go On, and it's very much not helping the situation. The captain calls the cost of play.
Imagine being in the fucking. You hear a loud thud. You feel physical movement. It's like we got hit by something.
Just why?
We got hit by something, and the people that are supposed to protect you are like, it's just a blackout. It's just a blackout, and then you hear the fucking My Heart Will Go On in the
crisis unit. Roberto
Oh my
Ferrarini,
God.
He tells the crisis unit that they've hit a rock.
That's
that there are system
insane.
damages and that they are also in a blackout. The crisis office says to reverse the ship up onto shore. Well, how are you going to do that? You don't have power to the rudder, let alone the engine. Hoist the sails? Anyway, around this time, the wind direction creates a starboard list, and the ship begins to turn anyway, drifting right back towards the shore. Which
The
is a
only
very
good ship
thing,
incident
because you
meme
want the
event
ship
was
to
the
end
Ever
up
Given
as close
clogging
to
the
shore
canal
as
backing
possible.
up legendary amounts of commerce.
A panicked
My heart will go on.
senses that something is off. This
My
isn't
sister
like
likes
any
to watch these
electrical
types of
problem she's
videos
ever
before
seen.
going on
Plus,
cruises.
There was a massive
Oh,
crashing
damn.
noise, and now the ship is
That's
tilted.
just masochism.
She
I would
contacts
never
the
do
daughter
that.
in Italy. The daughter then calls the police, and the police call the harbour master. While that goes on, a conversation between Pilon and Ambrosio. The diesel is not starting. The captain asks the engine room, but where have we made contact? Thinking that the incoming water can be reduced. Captain, here everything is lost. The electrical panel, everything. They're saying at this point that the ship is going down. The captain calls Roberto Ferrarini again. Actually, 2 compartments have been flooded, but don't worry, the ship's stability isn't in danger. Wrong. Passengers begin going to muster stations on their own initiative. The cruise director says, "We have a lot of people at muster stations that I do not want to fall overboard. Do we make an announcement to tell them to go to the lounges?" Bozio says, "I think that's best." The harbour master from Livorno calls the ship. The captain tells them that we just have a blackout. How long has this blackout been going on? About 20 minutes. Have you asked passengers to put on life vests? It's just a blackout. I gotta go. The harbour master is suspicious. He says to his superiors that he thinks something more is going on. He calls a patrol boat to the area and asks them to look at the ship. Another problem. The fan on the emergency diesel generator isn't working properly. Pilon manually has to turn the thing on and off with a screwdriver so that it doesn't overheat and cause a fire. The captain is on the
I
phone
love
to the
Ages
lower
using
decks,
music
asking
from Metal Gear
pointless
Solid
questions
2 because
like,
the start of
"Is
that
it still
game is on a
flooded?"
sinking ship.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it is.
Fallout Boy
The
going
captain
down,
is essentially
down.
the situation. The harbour master calls again. Finally, he says, "The ship is taking on water through an opening in the left side and the ship is listing." He qualifies with, "No one dead or injured." The harbour master asks if he needs help. "Just a tugboat," when in reality, they need a full rescue. With 3 compartments flooded, the captain finally realizes that things are really bad, and they are not going to improve. The Coast Guard orders every available ship to the sea. Meanwhile, up with the passengers, the cruise director's assistant says, "Everything's under control. Please return to your cabins or hang about in the lounges, no problem." She said this despite knowing it was wrong and that it further endangered lives. Most passengers at this point, though, aren't listening to this nonsense, and they're busy figuring out how to abandon ship. Bang, 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 bang. Local television has already picked up the story, and they begin broadcasting live radio feed from the bridge.
Hey, Capo.
Captain, the passengers are going on board the boats. Okay, let them go to shore. So then general emergency? Wait, let me talk to Ferrarini. We risk the emergency generators that do not have cooling. It has cooling problems, 100 degrees. The cooling fan has stopped. Pilon calls the bridge and tells the safety officer they need to evacuate. The safety officer relays this to the captain, but after no response, he orders the engine room to evacuate on his own. The captain says, "No, stay. We're leaving." So what do? General emergency? The captain tells Ferrarini that he's abandoning ship. Abandon ship! Another announcement is made.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The situation is under control. Please remain calm. And at this time, proceed to your muster station. They're located outside on deck 4.
The Livorno Coast Guard calls again. The captain declares distress. The Coast Guard officially calls for rescue operations. They contact Pietro Mille, the helicopter base commander, who then calls in every available pilot. As he rushes down to the helicopter base, Pilon shuts down the emergency generator for the final time. The first rescue vessel arrives. By this point, the lifeboats are already going. Luckily, the ship is very close to shore. Oh, perhaps too close to shore. The ship forcefully runs aground, creating an uneven center of gravity, and it begins heavily listing starboard. The captain issues a general emergency on board. The announcement to abandon ship is finally called and alarms ring out, and with that comes panic. And now that they're listing, with many of the lifeboats too awkwardly positioned to enter the water, there aren't enough readily available and they have to start going back and forth to the shore, picking people up and dropping them off. The patrol boats report to the Livorno harbour master that the ship has run
Who is
aground
this video
and is
from?
listing heavily.
This is from the Internet Historian. He has a lot of videos like this. Here, it's this guy, Internet Historian. I don't think you can see it. It might be too tiny, but just look up Internet Historian and you'll
How
find it.
dare he refer to a ship in non-specific pronouns? Yep, that ain't good.
Floating.
Yep.
In fact, we're trying to maneuver it onto the shore. They know he's lying. Hold on, I'm reversing it. Beep, 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 beep. The captain then says to bottom out the starboard anchor. So they drop out the anchors, but let out too much chain, effectively rendering them useless. The deputy mayor of Giglio, Mario Pellegrini, and tobacco shop owner Giovanni Rossi arrive at the harbour. They watch the
Thank
scene
you, Kai.
unfold. As the first of the lifeboats arrive on shore, the deputy mayor takes the initiative and races to board one of the lifeboats, returning to the ship, and starts trying to find someone in charge. He gives up and starts helping passengers. Scatino tells everyone to leave and take radios, but not before changing out of his uniform and into a nice suit. Priorities. Dimitri Christidis and Silvia Coronica leave with him. The maitre d' and Sir Morton both
This
get out of
captain
there.
can't
By
stop
this
making
point,
things worse.
approximately 300
Bro,
people
he
are
literally
still
took a
on the
break to quick before I leave and help people that are in life or death situations. I gotta put on my good suit.
ship. Millet reaches the helicopter base. The first helicopter, a slow-moving Augusta Bell, was already rising from the tarmac for the hour-long
Did they
flight
try
south.
turn it off then on again?
Bozio is the last crew member left on the bridge, coordinating evacuation. He then leaves to help passengers board lifeboats. The bridge is now abandoned. And then, the ship's black box stops working. Apparently there were technical problems with it. That means, from here, things are going to get a little foggy in detail. A while later, rescue helicopters arrive, but they're struggling to find the ship because they're expecting it to still be well above water.
Dressed to her I don't think is
Passengers are
impressing
scaling
anyone.
down the port side by ladder as lifeboats return to pick them up.
This is no joke. Oh my goodness. It was no joke, mi amor.
Look at this way. Look at this. Look at this bitch.
He's not allowed to make a
The
film.
captain really gaslighted himself the whole time, loudly crying.
And one of the people, the fucking girlfriend of the captain was like, "You're not allowed to film," to one of the people that was getting out of the fucking boat. Bro, how shitty can you be?
A second helicopter, a faster model, sets off. The ship stops heeling and comes to a final resting place. Now the Coast Guard calls the captain because he's just learned that the captain has abandoned ship. The captain claims, no, actually I slipped and I fell into one of the lifeboats. Ooh, I'm a klutz. But now that I'm on board, I may as well head back to shore. DeFalco tells the captain to get the fuck back on board.
Welcome to the
And the
gaslighting
captain kinda
district.
acts confused and then effectively refuses. So the captain makes it to shore. From here, we only have mainstream news reports to rely on, so it's not going to be super accurate. But they say that Giglio's police chief then finds 110 survivors on the rocks at Point Gabbianara. And among them is the captain. It's not known whether the captain helped anyone while he was there, and in fact, the police chief claimed that he just sat on the rocks and watched other people do the rescuing.
What
a while later, a rescue boat picks up the captain and takes him to the
Bro,
harbour
I would
and
be a
speaks to the
passenger and I would be trying to help people. I would be like, "Hey, is there anything I can do? Does anyone need does anyone need my life, the floating thing, the thing that you need to put on?" I would be helping people, and the fucking captain is like, "No, you'll do it."
He then finds
It's
the ship's
your
onboard
fault!
chaplain,
Life
Father
Vesta.
Raphael
Thank you,
Molina,
that.
and cried to him for about 15 minutes. Then he goes to the harbour master's office to receive probably the biggest dressing down of his entire life. Port authorities ask the taxi driver to take the captain back to his hotel. The captain takes the 30-second cab ride to the Bahamas hotel. According to the cabbie, he was beaten like a dog. He was cold and afraid. He only asked me where he could buy a pair of fresh socks. But then he perked right up
Flotation
again
vest.
into
Also,
his
you
news
wouldn't want to
crew.
give that
He told
away.
them
If you fall in that ice cold water, you might go into shock and drown.
No, yeah, I mean like on the
Life
shore.
vest or jacket.
I mean like after you're on shore.
that he was the last to leave.
The captain is usually the last.
Oh yeah,
to
also
abandon
that. Apparently he was so sad and so beat up and so bad, but immediately went to an interview. Bro.
ship. What happened, Captain?
We were the last to leave the ship.
He was almost one of the last ones to
All they
leave,
said they
because
rescued
I'm that
themselves.
much...
Shit.
I'm that great of a
On Sunday
captain,
morning,
y'all.
A South Korean couple is found in their cabin, safe but shivering. They had slept through the crash and woke up unable to exit their cabin. The last survivor, Manrico Giampandroni, was found with a broken leg. He was the cabin's service director. In the end, 32 people died. The final body wasn't discovered until nearly 3 years later.
Wow.
A crew member, Russell Rebello, and it's believed that he died a hero helping passengers off the ship.
Aww.
The Costa Concordia was the largest cruise
fair.
ship disaster since the Titanic.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
then
there's a couple that slept through the entire thing. Imagine being that much of a heavy sleeper. Imagine.
This is what happens to a 110,000-ton cruise liner when it's left half rolled over in the ocean.
That's insane.
May they rest in peace. That couple is me.
That couple is me.
Brew wakes up and is like, why is my bed on the ceiling?
Yeah. I can't imagine.
My partner slept through a tornado that took the roof off. He only woke when he started getting wet.
Wow.
But this isn't the end. It's just the halfway point. What most people know is that the Costa Concordia had crashed, many dead, and that the captain abandoned ship like a coward. But there's a whole veritable spaghetti of details to untangle.
Oh yeah.
Let's dive in.
Get ready for this.
There they are. The deets.
Ew, I know.
I don't care if the ship is sinking, I'm EP. Not a more
The Costa
pasta.
Concordia was more than just a floating resort. There's a mall, a casino, cha-ching, cha-ching. This iron chest was full of safes, and
Touching
cash
food with
registers,
hands.
and expensive fittings. And there were plenty of gamers prepared to sneak by authorities.
Can we
and
get
try
this
their
report
luck
in chicken
the
Alfredo
hot
instead?
Within days, police divers reported that
Why your
valuable
drawing of
items
egg is so
once
peggable.
seen lying around the
You're
ship
welcome.
were now missing. High-end liquor, expensive furniture, dining sets, cash from the casino, cash registers, jewelry and display cabinets, safes, Japanese woodblock prints by famous 18th century artists, as well as the iconic bell, which hung from the bridge of the ship. It was never found. Who steals a big fuck-off bell?
I wonder which motherfucker in the world has that fucking bell that just says Costa Concordia? Who the fuck steals a bell?
Even the server admins were getting involved. 4 divers who were part of the company contracted to refloat the Concordia were spotted on CCTV, sneaking out to the ship. A patrol boat was dispatched, and the men were caught inside the fancy suites with rucksacks full of stolen goods.
Ding, ding.
The 4 men are
Yeah.
charged with stealing and thieving and pinching. Later on, stolen as well as legitimate items found their way to Amazon and eBay. Chips from the casino, postcards, and cabin access cards became highly sought after souvenirs.
Imagine.
Some Australian guy even made a listing for the ship itself, advertising it as buyer to collect. And although there were plenty of bidders, eBay pulled the plug.
I love the internet.
I know you want to see Scatino go to jail, and we'll get to that. But first, we have to talk about someone else. Domnica Samorton.
That's the one that was telling the bitch to like, you can't record.
Speculation that she was on the bridge that evening because she was the captain's mistress.
intense media speculation.
That's common
Reports
Australian
that her
activities.
presence distracted the captain.
Ship for sale.
They both
Slight
denied
water
their
damage
love
from
for
crash.
years.
Taking
They
best
said
offer.
They were just friends.
Who are you
Although
all
she
drawing
did
today?
later admit to the media that she found him
I'm
And
doing
how could you
egg.
not?
I'm doing.
Fucking precious when you smile.
Ew. I have a few people as options. I don't know exactly how many people I'm gonna draw or how I'm gonna draw them, but I got Egg, Joey, Sherry, Roy, you, Felix, Shia Bun, and Shisu. Those are the options on the table. Let me go back.
Not her pouting in the pics.
later admit to the media that she found him handsome. And how could you not?
You so fucking precious when you smile.
She says there was no romantic link.
I just realized who the captain reminds me of, and even Moreau's stupid Mr. Bean.
Oh my god.
More interesting. It's like, you know, some spicy in the story.
Miss Morton also loved the spotlight, however,
Everyone, oh look!
and took
Skellabel is a cute design to consider maybe.
As the pressure mounted upon her, she began making ominous threats to Scatino, saying he must confess, and that you have but 1 week to come clean. But things from here get weird.
Spicy.
Sir Morton is a bit of a wild card. In a subsequent interview, she claimed a helicopter came to the ship well before the other rescue craft to take away a package. Huh? And what was that package? Drugs, apparently. So rumors began that the ship was running
Don't talk bad
narcotics
about Mr.
for the
Bean.
mafia. And not without cause. A number of cruise ships, even recently, have been caught trafficking drugs. As an aside, Scatino was tested for drugs immediately after the crash. He tested negative for drugs in his system, but trace amounts of cocaine were found in a hair sample.
Makes it smoother and less dry.
Nonetheless, the Concordia was searched and no drugs were reportedly ever found. How did we get here? Oh right, a helicopter. Someone commented on it again the next day.
Babe.
I love me some good
that
drama when
helicopter was
painting
just for
Gundam.
the captain as
Yeah.
a means of evacuation from the ship. Okay, wait. So she expected to get some sort of first-class rescue while everyone else was still stuck on the ship? Wait, how did we get here? Oh, right, sex with the captain.
Tested negative for
Divers were
drugs,
quick
but
to head to
positive
the
for
captain's
dumbassery.
cabin, where they found
Yeah.
Miss Sir Morton's lingerie and other articles of clothing, as well as a makeup bag. The jig was up, but they continued denying it. Sir Morton mostly faded from international attention until she was told to appear before the court to present witness testimony.
Oh,
the
there
judge
she
pressed her
goes.
to be truthful about their relationship, or she would be held in contempt.
Either tell me the truth or shut up.
So finally, she admitted it.
Yes, I had a sentimental relationship with the captain.
Stop.
But now, stop asking about my private life.
She was indeed the captain's lover.
What is up, Trouble Alert Nation? Scatino cheated on his wife with C-Mortan.
Oh, that too. He was married.
Scatino had been having an affair for several weeks. She also said that on the night she boarded, she didn't have a ticket.
Ticket, please.
And didn't need to pay because nobody questions you when you're the captain's lover. Naturally, she gave another confusing interview after leaving court.
I want to say that today is the second time I die, because the first time I died in the night of the crash with my psychological brain and problems.
Wait,
And
so did
today
this
I
ship
died
crash
the
because the
second
captain needed to get laid?
It was one of the reasons. There's a lot of reasons why that fucking ship, like, crashed. But one of them was apparently that he was distracted by his mistress.
Because, of course, people find out something that I...
Also,
tried
I
to
finished
hide.
egg.
Subsequent
Look.
to the trial, she used her fame in Moldova to become a political activist, often appearing on television and radio and in articles covering protests, accompanied by pictures of her being arrested by police.
Excellent.
What a way to go down!
OMG, Tentacle Man.
Fucking this woman. I swear to God. I'm sorry, I need to listen to this again.
Crash with my psychological brain and problems. And today I died the second time.
He's so edible.
Because, of course, people find out something that I try to hide.
Subsequent to the trial, she
just seems so unstable, man.
police.
I swear to God.
The Titan submersible disaster is tragic and rage-inducing. This disaster just makes my head spin.
Victims of violence, women's rights, yada yada yada. And interestingly, part of a push to block the sale of shares of Moldova's train network to Russia. Sure. Other than that, I don't really know what she's been up to. Let me just check on her Oh God, not again. Several civil suits were quickly lodged against Costa Crociere, and their parent company, Carnival Cruises, immediately saw a share drop of 23%. Passengers sought compensation for their damaged mental health, lost belongings, and loved ones.
Either they allowed him
Does
to
anyone remember
divert
the
from
Carnival
his
Cruise brawl
course,
that suspended
where they
4
didn't
floors and had,
know
I think,
where
60
their
people and it was over a freeway?
Within a few
No.
days, facing financial and media pressure, the CEO attempted to join the bandwagon against the captain and the crew.
That was not
Who are you doing now?
route
Roy.
the ship was taking at the time, and was not only taking, but the time the ship was
Claiming that the ship was not approved to deviate from the route. But that wasn't true. Approval isn't required if the ship is deviating by less than 15 miles, or that it was against company rules. Also untrue, because investigators found that they didn't have any rules about deviating route, and they tacitly encouraged sail by salutes. Now, in response to the civil suits, Costa Crociere
I've heard of a
offered
Carnival
passengers
cruise that caught on fire
11,000
and they
euros
didn't
each
bother
as
repairing it properly.
compensation.
Wow.
That's kind of small.
11,000 euros.
Carnival
about
Cruise is the Waffle House of the sea, loudly
is the
crying
minimum
tears of joy.
compensation under international law when a ship is abandoned.
This was to reimburse them for their tickets, as well as any costs they accrued in having to unexpectedly travel home early.
And that was supposed to release them from everything and anything that has to do with this accident. I cannot ask for more than this.
A lot of passengers, understandably, were not too happy with this deal, and they refused to take the money.
We think the offer is an insult. For what these poor passengers went through, we think that the compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Here, take it.
Compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Later, Costa Crociere would lodge a plea deal with the Tuscany court to pay a €1 million fine to avoid
Can I please get a
criminal
waffle?
trial. The judge agrees.
Can I please get a waffle?
Crociere is now off the hook for all criminal liability for the whole thing. They've washed their hands of the incident and flecked the residual droplets of responsibility onto the faces of 6 staff members. Passengers and relatives of the dead are livid that the company has been able to avoid criminal responsibility.
Offered is not commensurate.
Civil suits against the company continue. By the way, the residents of the island of Giglio also banded together and sought damages. They didn't get much. Eventually, passengers who refused the initial compensation of 11,000 joined civil parties against Scatino in his trial in 2015.
Is not commensurate.
They were awarded €30,000 each. Other cases, especially those involving lost relatives, are settled for undisclosed amounts. New York attorney Peter Renee traveled to Budapest to represent 6 real survivors of the disaster.
At Renee & Renee, we personally work on every case.
And we'll work harder
Oh
than
my God,
anyone
listen to
get
this,
you
this
the
is
most money
insane.
possible in the shortest amount of time.
And while on the job, a 7th case cropped up via email. An elderly woman, Alona, said,
"Help me, Mr. Ronai, for I have lost my daughter, Eva, and my 5-year-old granddaughter, Roxana."
So Mr. Renai agreed to speak with her. However, there were some inconsistencies in her story. Neither Eva nor Roxana were on the passenger list. Odd, but Costa is known for having stowaways.
Gotcha, bitch!
Still, Mr. Renai was suspicious. They wouldn't cheaty old Petey, would they? Renai inquired further about why she was on board, especially without a ticket. Ilona said,
"Well, I don't know, but you should ask her boyfriend.
Zolt Horvath.
He'll know all the details."
I'm up all night. I'm going crazy, he said. But Mr. Renai was still suspicious. Because then she asked, how much money do you think this is worth? This is a huge red flag, Petey. In 20 years of doing this, you've never had anyone ask about money. Why now? So Mr. Renai hired an investigator and sent photos around of the missing girl. The next day, the phone rang. Ahoy hoy, it was the boyfriend again. Look, there's been a bit of a misunderstanding.
Where can I
and the
commission one
child
of
isn't
these?
missing at all.
Honeyed 27 Perceive.
Hi, Honeydew. I'm currently not taking commissions, but if I do, you will know. Thank you for asking, though.
And then he claimed he was confused because he had done too many drugs the night before. Oh. Okay, can I speak to the daughter then? At first, he was refused. So Renai said that he'd have to file a missing persons report to the police if he couldn't. The boyfriend relented. That night, Renai met with Zolt and brought the police with him. He speaks to the granddaughter and asks her if she's seen Mum. Yeah, I saw her today. Oh, really? Yeah, we went to the park today and we went on the swings. Oh no, the jig was up. So the mum walks into the room sheepishly. It's a miracle! And the story changed again. Okay, I'm not dead, but I did injure my leg when I jumped from the ship. And then I immediately flew back to Budapest. Although don't worry about checking my leg because there are no visible marks or injuries. Petey, I'm beginning to think they weren't even on the boat. Also, it turns out this lady isn't her mum, it's just a neighbor. Eventually, Renee managed to make the pair confess. And then they said, hey, we haven't done anything wrong. We haven't taken any money. And in the end, it looks like there'll be no criminal punishment for the scam, because Hungary, a former communist country, has no laws against insurance fraud on the books.
This is corny.
The law firm never sleeps. Call 1-800-6647.
Oh, that's a bad idea. Oh, that's a very bad idea.
That's funny as fuck.
Mario, would you teach me some Italian?
Oh, of course! Get back on board for fuck's sake.
Okay, thanks.
Gregorio De Falco, the naval officer who shouted at Scatino to Vada a bordo caso, became a bit of a national hero.
And now
overnight in
advertise your
Italy.
trip funding greater than
like the
C.
rest of the world, expected
Of course, a
Scatino
former
to come down
USSR
with the
state
ship.
would be like that, loudly crying.
And when the captain chickened out, De Falco was there to admonish him. And when he stopped answering the radio, he called him on his cell phone to continue putting him on blast. When the captain first reported just a blackout, De Falco didn't believe the story and immediately began preparing a rescue effort, which likely saved several lives. His actions were applauded by most Italians who were tired of their public servants being corrupt and avoiding responsibility. Accordingly, shirts sporting Vada a bordo caso were being printed by the end of the week, others setting it as their phone's ringtone. But then, in September 2014, without warning, De Falco was transferred to an admin role in the Coast Guard.
See you, Captain. How much longer till your luck runs out?
The fucking dancing. The Hi Ayuchi!
I need to talk to you
in private. Thank you for playing that. I appreciate that. Hi Ayuchi, I hope that you're doing okay. Right now I'm watching a video. He needs to advertise. I have a trip. I want to go to Argentina. Your help would mean a lot to me because that way I can visit my mom and my family and my home and my everything. The link, you should be able to do exclamation donate and see the link there. There you go. I advertise. Real welcome. Epic mention. I love Epic. I love Epic. It's my favorite. I fucking love it.
Kai is trying to go back to home to see his mama.
Yes, you don't have
Good boy.
to, but yes, that is there. It exists. There you go. I acknowledge that. There you go. I did that. What's your favorite song? Oh my god. I love the one, I love the challenge. I love Open Arms. I love, a little bit dangerous. I love those. I really like it. The challenge is amazing. The challenge is fucking great. It's so emotional. I love Scylla. I love Monster. I love Ruthlessness is a good one. It's a very potent song. Ruthlessness is I think it's pretty good. But yeah. That I'm making my chat watch The Cost of Concordia. It's pretty interesting. When you like Good taste. Yeah. Same to you. Same to you. And thank you so much for passing by. Did you got a shout out? Yes, you did. Okay, you got a shout out. Good. But yeah. I'm just drawing VTubers. I drew two of my friends and I'm drawing another one right now.
Office he was even being transferred to, and that it all effectively cancelled 10 years of his career. DeFalco was Tres Furioso, and there was public speculation that it was owing to bad blood between himself and Admiral Delano, his former boss. His status among the public overshadowed his superior in many ways. On the other hand, his boss said, no, it's part of a normal career progression for naval officers and that he must show more maturity and professionalism to advance his career. Now, it's hard to know what's true in office politics, so let's leave that alone. And anyway,
you also like Charybdis for exercising IIRC.
Yeah, that too. Charybdis, I really like Charybdis.
In March,
nice profile, thank you.
The Italian Senate, serving as a member for Livorno. He still serves there today.
I'm the captain now.
DeFalco is now retired after he left his party because he was dissatisfied with the corruption in Italian politics.
Oh, wow. I see. Oh, yeah, jail time.
The day after the disaster, Schettino was taken into custody by police and underwent questioning. However, it was clear that this would not be a straightforward investigation. So the judge released him under house arrest at his home in Sorrento, a town in Napoli. By July of that year, the house arrest was relaxed and he was allowed within this general area. While under house arrest, he wrote a book with this journalist from Rai magazine. I have no idea what it says, I don't speak Italian. But goddammit, he must have some kind of charisma going on, because there's been a lot of speculation in the press that he had an affair with her as well.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Oh my god. Not content with abandoning his ship, this dude is determined to abandon his wife as well. So, Schettino and 5 others are facing criminal charges. Straight away, everyone lodges a plea bargain with the court, and all of those plea bargains are accepted, except for Schettino's. And the condition of everyone's reduced sentences are that they must provide witness testimony against Schettino.
Oh, his fault.
Touched me.
Ciro, Jacob, and Silvio were all given suspended sentences. Roberto and Manrico are able to opt for community service or house arrest. Not a bad deal.
A good deal. A good deal.
And that meant that Schettino was now all on his own. Ciro, the first officer, was the first to give his testimony. On the witness stand, he claimed that Schettino was distracted by his mistress and other guests on the bridge.
He's fucked.
There was confusion over who was in command. Then it was Jacob's turn, and he said Lamau XD because he didn't actually bother with his testimony or his reduced sentence. He just fled the country. It took authorities 12 months to eventually track him down on the outskirts of Jakarta. And when they said, "Oi, we still want that witness testimony," he just scalped it again, and he hasn't been found since. After that,
Hi, Hairbell.
his testimony, then look, we don't have time to relitigate the whole trial, so let's just go straight to the verdict. Guilty! Schettino was found guilty of multiple manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, abandoning ship, and lying to authorities. He is sentenced to 16 years and 1 month in prison. But wait, there's still the appeals. The appeals trial begins. And the verdict on the appeal? Surprise! Rejected! So Schettino's lawyers appealed again. And the verdict on the final appeal?
How you doing? I'm good. I'm drawing some people. I drew Sherry, I drew Egg, and right now I'm drawing Roy Chiato. Yeah, I'm just chilling and watching Rita's chat.
Prosecution each time. The prosecution called for Schettino to be sentenced to 26 years in prison, calling the incident a Titanic affair.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
Schettino was not present. His lawyers stated that he was waiting outside of the jail for the ruling, so that if his plea was rejected, he could immediately start serving his sentence. And with that, 5 years and 4 months after the disaster, he was finally in a cell.
I will not be making any comment. Oh, God, that hurt.
The salvage operation was enormous. It took over 2 years and cost an estimated $1.2 billion. Beginning in early 2012, they first spent 2 months pumping fuel from the ship's tanks. At the same time, they had to pump seawater in so that the balance wasn't affected and the ship didn't slide around. In early 2013, a platform was built under the ship to prevent it from falling further. Sponsons were then attached to the sides of the ship and cables attached to the underwater platform. The sponsons were then dragged underwater and opened up to allow the ocean to fill them. The ship could then roll over properly. By late 2013, the ship was upright once more. The sponsons were then attached to the side of the ship to help keep it balanced. It now rested partially above water and crews could walk around safely. By July 2014, the water was removed from the sponsons and compressed air was pumped in to lift the ship. And she was ready to cruise again. This time to a port in Genoa. It was a 4-day towing journey to the docks where a 2-year process of dismantling and recycling would begin. That same weekend of the towing, Schettino was busy. He was the guest of honor at a white party on an island in the Bay of Naples. He appeared on the front page of a local newspaper, flanked by 2 of Italy's most eligible bachelorettes. Anyway, so these are the things that I remember from the Costa Concordia. That sweet maiden of the sea. And as for you, little fella.
The fucking bell. The fucking bell.
Well, it's time to return you.
Hi, Rare Medic. Hi.
From whence you came.
Bong.
Who the fuck has the bell? Hi, Rare Medic. I'm doing alright. I'm drawing friends of mine.
Number 2. There's a new video on the second channel. You probably didn't see it because it was temporarily restricted. Now it's not. Enjoy. 3. If you've never seen the second channel before, give it a go. It's a different type of content, but we put a lot of production into it. It's not just offcuts. 4. There are a couple secret channels as well, but I ain't telling you where they are. 5. No more 45-minute videos on the main
That's
channel.
nice,
That's 10
yeah.
to 15 minutes and more of them. 6.
I'm trying
There's
to
a
look
Q&A
for more
coming up
of
next
the
week on
more of the videos where people survive, like cave diving stuff. Where? Most dangerous dive site in Texas. No, I don't need to know that. I don't need to know that. I don't need to know that. You see why I like this video? It's pretty good. Type man in a hole.
That's actually not the worst sea disaster in those years. There was an Asian vessel which lost 300 civilian passengers after the entire crew abandoned ship.
That's insane.
There's a cave that's tall enough to fit skyscrapers.
Yeah. I man in a hole is it's intense. I still think about it at night. So I don't want to like traumatize people.
In 1912,
the editing is pretty nice. Sealam 11 starry eyes.
Yo, isn't it? I'm trying to grab. Come here. Give me more of your videos, man.
In 1912, the Titanic.
When subs implode, we saw that. 1 year later. No. Man in cave. That one takes an hour. And it's pretty intense. Internet Historian is fantastic. It is, isn't it? The editing is pretty nice. The editing must have taken forever, man. Absolutely. Survival man in cave. I'm trying to find man trapped in a cave fighting to survive. 7 men are trapped underground in a cave with a river running through it. Do they survive though? Only experts know how to retrieve them. It doesn't say. It doesn't say. Hold on, I'm gonna start watching and see. This better be good. This is a true story told by... There are survivors! There are survivors! That's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. I just need one motherfucker to stay alive. Let me make it a little bit bigger so y'all can see better. There you go.
Doing an art stream while watching goofy videos about aquatic disasters is certainly an interesting theme for today.
I know. Alright, I did Roy. Who's next? Who's my victim?
A flash flood trapped 7 French cavers 100 meters underground.
Of course they're French!
As the water rises, it forces the men up against the cave roof. There is no escape.
Choo! 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 Choo!
I'm gonna draw Felix, why not?
In southern France, a freak storm turns a weekend caving adventure
Hi,
into
Angelo.
a life and death struggle.
Bless you. Oh, if I sound like a Q, that is a tick. Oh my god, there's
7
recorded
men
stuff.
Scramble into their life rafts and wait helplessly as the floodwaters force them relentlessly upward.
Or is that... Ah, nah, this is
The air
remade.
pocket that's keeping them alive is shrinking. If the water keeps rising, it will crush them into the cave's ceiling and drown them. Nicolas Violande is on his first overnight caving expedition. It is a terrifying initiation.
Oh boy.
I was 19 years old at the time. Why, at the beginning of my life, am I going to die here?
Nicolas is the youngest member of the team. He and 6 more experienced cavers have been planning this expedition for months.
Seeing Felix's avatar is tough because I start to drool immediately and can't focus well.
Limo.
All of them are from the nearby town of Gramat. They all share one passion: exploring the planet's underground frontiers. The VTUBERS cave system is right in their backyard. It stretches for 14 kilometers beneath the fields and forests around Gramat. It's a giant subterranean network of caverns, with an underground river and caves up to 40 meters tall. There's
Wow.
only one entrance.
Wow.
This
That's
is how
kinda
Nicolas
sick.
and the others have descended into VTUBERS. The entry point is a narrow 40-meter deep well that connects with the underground river. At the start of the expedition, the river is just ankle deep.
Felix'
in most
avatar looks
sections.
like they know what's going to happen, but doesn't want to spoil it.
In other areas, they need rafts to make their way through the deeper water.
Our goal was to follow the underground river and check out parts of the cave that hadn't been explored in 15 or 20 years.
2 days into their expedition, a freak wave of violent thunderstorms sweeps through the region. Dumping 62 millimeters of rain in just 12 hours. The underground river rises quickly, flooding the cave and blocking the cavers' only escape route. Nicolas and the 6 other cavers have been trapped for most of the day. They huddle together just 1.5 meters from the roof of the cave.
There were no sounds anymore, no noises. It was a silent lake that was rising little by little.
Listen, guys.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Don't mind me, I'ma just grab myself and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this.
That was perfect. That you deserve claps for that. That was beautiful. That was perfect. That was a masterpiece. That was great. Mood. Fucking mood.
He tells his friend that he'll buy them all a car if they get out alive.
Oh,
He's
God.
only half serious.
I'm so happy.
We were supposed to meet up with another group of cavers the next day. So once the water rose, we knew our families would sound the alarm and contact the rescuers.
300 kilometers away in another cave system, Bernard Tort leads a rescue training exercise. Bernard is a world-renowned caver with nearly 2 decades of experience. Now his expertise is urgently needed in France's biggest ever cave rescue attempt.
Hello? On reçoit un nouvel appel, nous annonçant
We got a phone call that there was a group of 7 people trapped in the VTUBERS.
On apprend l'ampleur de la cavité.
It's a huge cave system, and the flow of the river there gets incredibly powerful when there are massive floods. It becomes really dangerous. So we took this call very seriously.
On a peut-être une situation dramatique avec nos
We knew we had a potentially tragic situation on our hands.
dans une situation très très grave.
Dramatique.
For the men trapped in their life rafts, the hours pass slowly and painfully. At 8 to 10 degrees Celsius, the water is bone-chillingly cold.
We felt abandoned. We asked, why did this happen to us?
The only thing keeping them alive is a pressurized pocket of air between the water and the top of the cavern. The men know their situation is precarious. Any change in the pressure inside the cave could make the water rise suddenly.
I was asking myself, will I have enough air to breathe?
God. This is why I'm never going caving.
It was either we get out, or we will be left to die.
The men must use their lamps sparingly. The lamps burn a flammable gas to make light, and this process consumes precious oxygen. With every breath, they rob the tiny air pocket of its life-saving oxygen. And every time they exhale, they fill the air chamber with increasing amounts of deadly carbon dioxide. As carbon dioxide levels accumulate in the body, breathing accelerates, heart rate increases, tissue fluids become acidic. Extremely high levels of CO2 can cause respiratory paralysis, convulsions, coma, even death. Computer technician Philippe Verger is the team's technical expert.
I like kissing boys.
Me too.
He uses
These
an
are two of
oscillator
my
to check
phobias
the
at
air
the same
pressure in the
time.
bubble.
Fear of dying in the water and claustrophobia Yanda 52 egg shaker.
If you need to not listen, Leco, that's okay.
He knows that as long as the pressure remains
Cave divers
stable,
be like,
the
I
water
can't
will
wait
not
to enter the
rise or
famous
drop
cave,
suddenly.
Satan's butt crack, which
Philippe
is famous for a
reports that the pressure is
300%
high.
mortality rate and home to the deadliest things on the planet. Time to dive in.
Actually.
And holding for the moment. But any change in another part of the river could eliminate their safe haven in seconds. In the town of Gramma, family and friends of the cavers are worried. They fear that the torrential
Nah,
rains
that's
will
okay.
turn the
I love
VTUBERS
horrors.
cave system
Alright,
into a
alright.
death trap.
Suffocating like that isn't the worst way to go, cause you're basically passing out.
Yeah. Ah, fuck me. I mixed the wrong layers. That's fine.
Zylock literally described Australia, home to the deadliest things on the planet.
Rescuers set
Niño
up
de
headquarters
polo.
on a military base above the cave system. Rescue groups from across the country converge on the small town. But because the entrance well is flooded, they are unable to get down in the caves.
You're gonna need divers for this.
One of the key rescuers to arrive on the scene is Guy Riviera.
My feeling is that there might be stuff somewhere between here and here. Michael said that I need to put it on 2 months.
He's a veteran advisor with the country's caving rescue organization called Spilio Secours Français. More importantly, it's where he grew up and began caving as a boy.
Here's what we know. There's been a ton of rain. We have 7 cavers trapped underground, and they've got enough food to last them 3 days. We have to try and rescue them. But we know the only entrance is filled with water.
Nicolas Violand and his fellow cavers have now been trapped for almost 24 hours. So far, the air pressure has held steady. But they're in for the shock of their lives.
Oh no. Oh, fuck no. Fuck that.
Upstream in another part of the cave system, some debris breaks loose. As the blockage clears, there's a sudden, dangerous drop in air pressure, then a powerful surge of
Fuck that.
The moment the water goes down, it goes down fast. Faster than it rose.
On a la cage thoracique qui est prise.
Our torsos were shaking and trembling. Our ears were blocked. You really had the impression you were squished into a bottle and being shaken in every direction.
As the water level drops, the men clamber onto a ledge that had been submerged until now.
We were worried. It was like a whirlpool that was going to suck us down underwater, bash us into the walls, and drown us in the current.
OMG, it's me. 3.
The sudden draining of the water disrupts the pressure in the gallery and creates a bizarre phenomenon. For a period of nearly 10 minutes, multiple waves batter the inside of the cavern.
The noise was absolutely infernal. We were really in the middle of the elements that were in a fury.
Bro is never gonna enjoy a shower ever again.
The unpredictable underground river presents a huge challenge for the rescuers.
Can I pull the thing about my model since you're the artist? Can I plug the thing? Oh, yeah, you can.
The cave system actually descends, and the river flows through it. So essentially, the
You want me
current
to
flows
come up
downward
to
from the
come and say
highest
it?
point
Sure.
to the lowest point.
He heads for Gramma with a
Do
special
it.
kayak ideal for this kind of rescue. The water has
I'm gonna pause the video for one quick second. There's a visitor in my room. You speak.
Hi.
Who are you?
Hi, I'm Felix.
Yeah?
I'm the person on screen that he's drawing.
Yeah.
I'm his friend and
Yeah.
his roommate.
Yeah.
Things in my life have been chaotic, but on and off, I
Hi, Fox,
am a
scream at
content
me.
creator. I made content before Caleb, and he found me by being one of my simps originally.
The old days.
Anyways, he used to make model art.
I used to, yeah.
And it was fucking amazing and incredible. So I commissioned him for a live 2D model, and it's pretty much done. That's what you're seeing on the screen right now. However, there have been complications with it. Calum developed a condition in his wrists called tendinitis. He had to take a huge step back from art.
Yeah.
He's doing amazing today, and I'm super fucking proud of him.
Aww.
Like a couple months ago, he couldn't even draw with a pen on paper. But still, a couple sketches is a huge step from a ginormous model, right?
Yeah.
So he had to give me a partial refund and stop progress on my model.
Yes.
So it's 80% done.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for a new artist.
Yeah.
I am having trouble because several artists have turned me down. They're not comfortable with working with a mostly completed model. So, if you have any suggestions for someone who does model art or rigging, that would be really appreciated. I am looking for, I have a list. If it doesn't fit this specifically, totally fine, but just something that I'm looking for. For the art, I'm looking for someone who's comfortable finishing model art that is 80% completed by a previous artist, someone experienced in live 2D models, someone who, if possible, less than a year wait time, and if possible, less than $1,000 US, just for this specific touching up the finishing 20% of the model, because it's pretty much complete. For rigging, I'm looking for smooth professional quality, experienced with rigging, V-bridger especially with mouth tracking as specific as possible, because I want it for singing and song covers. And I don't mind paying whatever it's worth for that one. I'm just putting that out there because there's some people who do both. And if I could work with someone who could do both, that'd be amazing. But if it's just one artist and one rigger that's separate, that's cool too. So yeah, thank you for letting me jump on and hijack that. It's just, I'm really proud of this baby that Kayla made. It's beautiful and amazing, but it's not finished. And so I can't give it to a rigger yet because it's not done. And please someone finish it. I'm begging you. Caleb can't do it physically. So if anybody's willing.
Also, I finished your sketch.
Wow! It's so pretty.
Let me put it with the other stinkers. We have 4 stinkers. Do you recognize everyone here?
Yeah, that's Floppy is Shiri. Then we got Roy, and then we got Egg, and then we got me, looking all edgy.
Because you are! That's your entire personality!
Thanks for including me.
You are literally Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh my god, fuck you. Did you enjoy the chocolate?
Huh?
Did you enjoy the chocolate?
Yes, I did. Yeah. It was good. Thank you.
Alright, bye guys. Be good. Also, tell him how good he's doing. He's doing amazing with his art. He used to not be able to physically draw a couple months ago. Look at how good he's doing right now. He's doing great. Be proud of him. Make him feel good. Make him cry. Support him. Alright, bye. Bye.
Yay. I like these sketches. I'm gonna definitely post this shit on Twitter. I'm very happy about how this looks like. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let me turn back on the TTS so y'all can speak. There you go. It's turned on. It's turned on. It's turned on. It's turned on.
They right though. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. It feels nice to get back at something that means so much to me.
Seated. The trapped cavers make camp on a 3-meter
I love
wide
watching
ledge.
friends interact loudly crying.
The waves have left them badly shaken.
You're going to a good job. We love the goat boy. He's
Thank
so
you.
amazing and wonderful.
Thank you.
We had to organize. We had to do something. We said to ourselves, survival starts right now. We had about 3 days of waiting. We figured
Me
it would
when I
take
get
about
you,
3
you
days
amazing
for the water
artist
level to
SMH.
drop before we could head back out.
Thank you.
The men carefully ration the food that's left. Packets of soup, a few cereal bars, rice cakes, and some caramels.
That's smart.
4 beautiful sketches in so little time. You're so fucking talented. Sealam 11 FASTTT.
Thank you.
Felix the First have talked with a creator on Twitter who has open commissions right now if you want me to plug them in the chat.
Yeah. You should probably message Felix about that. Alright, we got a few more people we could draw.
Drip by drip that we collected and purified with hydroclonazone tablets.
I don't know where to contact Felix TBH.
Bernard Tort arrives at Viterel.
Felix is right there. Yeah, there it is. They're in chat. You can send the thing.
To enter the cave system, along with Guy Bariviera, the local expert.
Une fois que je suis arrivé sur place,
As soon as I arrived on site, I was updated on the situation, and we quickly made the decision to form a team that would include Guy Bariviera and myself.
qui serait constitué de Guy Bariviera et moi-même.
Rescuing the trapped men is the biggest challenge of Bernard's career. He and Guy will have to navigate a maze of dangerous caves and unexplored galleries to find the cavers.
Oh boy.
The rescuers know that the trapped cavers planned to go to some of the highest points of the system. If they made it that far, they might still be alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm doing cheese too.
Even though the water rose 30 meters at the lower end of the cave system, it didn't mean that it completely flooded the upper end. So, if the trapped cavers were up there when the water was rising, we had every hope of finding them in perfect health.
Bernard and Guy prepare for their underground search with military precision, gearing up with the most sophisticated rescue equipment. This includes Bernard's special two-man inflatable kayak. Guy, who's already been underground on a scouting mission, tells Bernard that the current is very dangerous.
The objective of the mission was go to the furthest point possible in the cave system. We figured once the water started rising, the cavers would have moved camp, would have withdrawn to a higher part of the cavern.
So Bernard and I left on his customized raft with a lot of equipment to fight the current and to do a lot of climbing.
When Bernard and Guy descend into the cave system, they discover that the underground river is still raging in some passages. In others, it's flooded right to the ceiling. Making any headway among the jagged rocks is taxing and dangerous.
Jesus. I'm so glad I don't do this.
We had enough room between the roof and the surface of the water to move forward, but it was difficult because the water had a violently strong current.
After nearly 5 hours of slogging through the cave system, they're finally within striking distance of the cave called Salle du Cône. This is where Bernard and Guy hope the men are trapped, in the higher galleries. The only way to get to those galleries is to climb.
Brew, just watching this is making me all tense.
Really? I mean, I can see that. It is like, are they gonna be okay? Are they not? Are they? Oh.
Imagine the Salle du Cône is a chamber that is pointed. So we arrived at a gallery that is situated at this level, and then we had to climb the slope towards the summit of the chamber. It was about a 15-meter climb to get up to the upper gallery.
It's a grueling 5-hour climb.
5 hours.
The two men drag themselves forward, hauling heavy equipment and Bernard's inflatable kayak. When they finally reach the upper gallery, it's waterlogged, but otherwise empty. Except for one disturbing sign that someone or something has passed through here.
Once we made it to the upper gallery of Salle de Cône, it's basically the highest point in the area. We looked around and noticed there were little bits of plastic stuck to the ceiling. That was incredibly disappointing and distressing, because this meant the whole network had been filled with water. It was pretty tragic.
Guy and Bernard know that if the men were here, they would have drowned. If they're still alive, they have to be somewhere even higher in the cave system. The next big cave is Clé de Voûte, another 2 kilometers.
Yeah, that's
upstream.
Felix's server.
Bernard and Guy want to press ahead, but it's too dangerous. The water completely fills the low sections in front of them. They're forced to turn around and head back to rescue headquarters to devise a new plan.
Day 4, Lord.
Nicolas and the other cavers can only wait. With no sense of time and no daylight, sleep comes in fits and bursts. Some sleep, others talk, and always they worry about the changing water level.
Donc au fur et à mesure, la survie a commencé.
So basically, we went into survival mode.
Manger toutes les 12 heures, c'est
We figured it would be a good idea to eat every 12 hours. And we try to really conserve our energy.
On avait un réchaud.
We had a stove to heat the water so that we could hydrate ourselves as well as warm ourselves.
Et on avait
And we still had a bit of fuel for our lamps to eventually light the way out.
gaz acétylène pour nous éclairer pour la sortie.
They fantasize about the perfect meal.
À partir du moment où on est
Almost immediately, the first thing that comes to mind is hunger.
c'est la faim.
They share and savor memories of great restaurant meals and favorite recipes.
On pense
All you think about is food. Eat, eat, eat. And so we had to be really careful and ration our meals.
nos repas, je me souviens d'un repas où
I remember we had one meal that consisted of a spoonful of curried rice,
15 centilitres
15 milliliters of hot tea, a quarter of mandarin orange, and a rotten chestnut. That was a meal.
Oh God.
When Bernard and Guy resurface, the rescuers adopt a new strategy to speed up the search for the missing cavers.
Mm-hmm.
They tell their fellow rescuers that it's difficult and risky to make headway underground. They'll have to find a quicker way to get access to key caverns. It's time to bring in the heavy machinery.
Oh.
The topographers will try to pinpoint the location of caves that rescuers haven't been able to reach via the underground route. The drilling teams will punch through the earth to get direct access to the chambers below.
That's crazy.
Drilling should create new entry and exit points along the cave system. This will provide shortcuts for the rescuers and hopefully bring them within reach of the trapped cavers more safely and more quickly. Deciding exactly where to drill is a daunting task.
A lot of math involved, probably.
Just 30 centimeters in the wrong direction can mean missing the entire cave system.
Sur cette opération, il nous fallait 2 types de machines.
We needed 2 types of machines for the drilling operation. We needed drills that could go very deep to try to locate the river, and we also needed drills that could bore out a hole large enough in diameter for a person to fit through. That was essential.
Once started, the drilling teams hammer away at the rock day and night. At the same time, other rescuers try the underground route via the well, which is the cave's only natural entrance. They must work their way up the river to where they think the men could be trapped.
That's crazy.
The 7 trapped cavers have managed to hold on for almost a week.
What if it snowed in the valley?
But their situation is getting desperate.
Simply impossible.
They're almost out of food. What's worse?
I just wish they knew. Can you
Oh
imagine?
no, don't tell me
water
more
is
fucking
rising
water
again.
is coming in. Yep. Yep.
With news of the rising water, the fear flooded right back in. We checked the level quickly and saw the water kept on rising, and the current was getting stronger and stronger.
Oh Lord.
And then the biggest fear for all of us was, we all looked up at the ceiling, and everyone said, no way. There's no way we're going in the rafts again. It was so horrible, so difficult physically, that we wouldn't survive a second flood.
Oh wow.
Rescuers work around the clock to find the 7 missing cavers. Then the weather takes another disastrous turn.
Come on.
For the second time in a week, torrential rain hammers southern France.
Come on.
Water floods the cave entrance, shutting off all access. A team of rescuers is underground. Now they too are cut off by the rising water. Above ground, Bernard Tourt has to find a way to warn them, and fast. He scribbles a message on a notepad, attaches it to a bare lamp bulb and a phone, then sends it all down a small drill hole.
Wow.
He must draw the attention of his men to warn them of the dangerous new flooding.
Il y avait un téléphone, il y avait la lampe, il y avait ce message.
So there was the phone, there was the lamp, and there was the message. And the objective of that was to stop them from going any further. We didn't want them to keep going back toward the entrance to Vitarel, because we knew the water had risen there and they would have been trapped.
Et ils auraient pu se faire piéger.
At first, Bernard gets no response from the team underground. He waits for 3 hours, then a welcome sign of life from the rescuers below. Bernard warns them to stay where they are until the floodwaters recede.
Okay. Got it.
There's nothing these trapped rescuers can do until the water level drops again. Or the drilling crew enlarges the hole so a body can squeeze through. But they are safe. Elsewhere in the cave system, Nicolas Violand and his 6 trapped colleagues have used up almost all the fuel for their headlamps. Even if the water level drops, they no longer have enough light or even the strength to walk out of the cave system on their own. Depression sets in.
We were really wishing the water wouldn't rise to that level again. For me, if that was the case, I would have probably let myself sink.
Wow.
It was a point at which we all wanted to abandon it, to let it all go.
On avait envie de tout abandonner, de tout lâcher.
Drilling teams work around the clock in the race to blast into the rock and enlarge the existing hole. Finally, the giant drill busts through.
Donc ça, c'était vraiment capital pour nous, ce forage. Donc c'est clair que une fois...
That was a major accomplishment for us. Once we created the new opening, it was like removing a whole piece of the cave network.
Tout un morceau du réseau.
But the
Bro,
rescue
this rain
mission
keeps
is far
leaving
from
and coming
over.
back. What is happening?
Yeah, it's such a
Even though
bitch.
they've created a shortcut into the cave network,
I'm finished with
they're still not
Shizu.
certain where the 7 missing men might be, or even if they are still alive.
I'm putting him here. No, here. Yeah. The goobers. The goobers.
Time underground takes its toll on Nicolas and his fellow cavers. Their main preoccupation now is to fight off dehydration and hypothermia. And now there's another worry. Their supply of water purification tablets has almost run out.
J'étais pas fâché contre quelqu'un ou contre...
I wasn't mad at anyone. I was depressed. I felt abandoned. Abandoned by life completely.
I buried my best recommendation. What happens from there, I cannot say. All I can hope is that one of the other takes up the rest of the work. That's valid.
By now, the massive rescue effort is an international
I'll try
story.
Shayabon.
The
Why
media
not?
has descended on the quiet countryside. Bernard Tourt and his team now have to deal with a new set of challenges, especially how to prevent any bad news from leaking out.
Ça faisait près de 200-300 personnes qui venaient...
There were about 200 to 300 people who came from everywhere.
Tellement de mal que on s'est...
And we had huge problems trying to control that. We heard that some reporters had plugged themselves into our telephone system. We had microphones planted in different command posts. We had people listening to our conversations on long-range microphones.
On avait des gens qui écoutaient avec des micros à longue distance les conversations qu'on pouvait avoir d'un côté ou de l'autre.
Bernard gathers his team and briefs them on the media storm. From now on, they must use coded messages when calling each other.
Ces codes, c'est bien clair.
The codes were used so that the media didn't understand the meaning of our words. So basically, we had time to organize and tell the families.
The rescuers' code, if they find the survivors alive, is send us some food. If the cavers are found dead, the code is send us some carbide. As the drilling teams zero in on the large gallery called Clé de Voûte, the calcified rock slows them down. This kind of rock has a lot of cracks and fissures, which can cause the drill head to bend or break.
Et à l'aide d'une petite caméra, on a descendu...
With the help of a little camera that we sent down into each hole, we looked to see if there were any galleries. At the same time, we measured the speed of the air current, because if there's a strong air current, that means there's a direct connection with the larger cave network.
The drill has penetrated 28 meters down into the rock. Suddenly, it breaks through to a large cavity of air.
We immediately decided to widen the drilled hole.
Bernard and Guy hope the cavers are trapped here, somewhere in the galleries of Clé de Voûte. But the camera can find no signs of the missing men.
So many bunny boys. Oh yeah, there's a lot in this community.
We always have the impression of hearing noises, bizarre noises, strange noises. Above all, when there's a river and the sound of water.
Whoa.
Nicolas thinks he hears a voice. One of the others is also sure he's heard something.
Au milieu des bruits,
In the midst of the sounds of water and the sounds of voices that we constantly heard, I believe I heard something a little bit stronger, a little bit louder.
Do you think they're coming?
They wonder if it might be rescuers. But for every moment of hope, there's a moment of despair. when they realize it's just an illusion.
Something's holding them up.
Yeah.
On s'est dit,
We said, is it hallucination? Two people at the same time? That would be bizarre. Is there someone who's trying to contact us? Is there a rescue? We looked to our left, looked to our right, but there was no one. There was nothing. All 7 of us thought a lot about our families.
Gonna go
We thought
for a
they must be
little?
dead.
Enjoy the morbid fascination, Caleb.
After waiting several
Okay.
days like this,
Smash or pass?
we all wish they still had hope.
Smash or get
But they all
smash?
thought,
Oh, I don't know.
As long as we don't find them, they are still alive.
Les rescapés se connaissaient tous, mais les familles se connaissaient pour la majorité d'entre elles.
The survivors knew each other, but the families also knew one another. During the whole rescue, they tried to help us.
Essayer de nous aider, essayer de nous soutenir. Les équipes de foreurs, les équipes, toutes nos équipes de sauveteurs qui travaillaient en surface, travaillaient 24 heures sur 24.
The drilling teams, the rescue teams on the surface, we were all working 24 hours around the clock. It was raining, it was snowing, it was freezing. The support of the families was very important and helpful and kind to the rescuers. They made us coffee, they brought us food. They really tried to lend support to all levels of the rescue effort in the face of a daunting challenge.
Wow.
À tous les
That's
niveaux de la
admirable.
pyramide, et certainement pas dans les endroits les plus confortables, dans les endroits où les difficultés étaient les plus rudes.
The rescuers are encouraged by the enlarged drill hole above Clé de Voûte. They know that if the trapped cavers are still alive, this is the most likely place to find them. Guy Riviera prepares to descend into the cave system once again.
Okay, good. All right. Guy est rentré sur cette opération.
Guy went underground about 5 or 6 times, and every time he was down for long, complex, and intense missions. All that combined with fatigue puts a rescuer in danger of getting injured.
Another runaway? Oh, yeah.
Donc, je dirais, pour moi, il était une personne.
For a guy like me, Guy was the most important resource. I had to send him on missions where his presence was indispensable.
Où sa présence allait être indispensable.
There were 2 possible routes, a main climb and a gallery that went off in another direction.
Guy unhooks his line. He will be joined by another rescuer. Guy believes that if he can discover a passageway through to the river, he'll be able to find the trapped men. If they're still alive, they've got to be close.
We went into that gallery with the hope of finding our survivors. We covered 300 meters. It was the first time that anyone disturbed the soil, and we didn't manage to find a direct link to the river. No sound, no sign of air currents.
Guy explores other areas of the cave system with no result and no sign of the river.
Finally, after many climbs and many obstructions, we reached a cavity of a few meters that blocked off yet another gallery.
This cave just keeps on going.
As soon as I got through the rockfall, there was an enormous sound. It was the sound of the river, the rumbling of water in the gallery, the resonance of that water. And also at the same time, there was the current of air that was tickling my nostrils.
The discovery of the underground river is a big breakthrough. Guy believes that the trapped cavers must now be within shouting distance.
We didn't hear them. There was no sign of life. But at least the search could now accelerate.
They push boulders into the cavern below, hoping that the noise will spark a response from the trapped men. But again, there's no answer.
We'd been underground exploring for several hours by now.
Guy reports to the rescuers on the surface.
43, do you read me?
He tells them that although he has found the river and cleared a passageway to it, there is no sign of cavers and he cannot go any further.
We'd finally found a connection to the river at this end of the system, but the cavers weren't here, and so we needed to deploy new teams to look for them.
After more than a week of rescue work and 5 marathon underground missions, Guy is exhausted. He has no choice but to head back to the surface. When he arrives up top, he briefs the others about the shaft that leads to the underground river and where they need to go next. He's set the path, and a fresh team of rescuers can now continue the hunt for the trapped cavers.
So much fucking work.
A few hundred meters. Reach a giant shaft.
Cyril Arnaud is a member of the next unit going in.
Okay.
Guy's discovery of the shaft leading to the river was huge for us. We now had a new access point where we could quickly put our feet back in the river.
At this point, every minute counts. There has been no word from the trapped cavers for almost 200 hours. There's no evidence that they have survived the floodwaters. Cyril's team plows forward. They see a bend up ahead.
I think it was about 8 or 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. Everyone was in their sleeping bags. And then distinctly I heard a voice. Someone who was talking to someone else. There, I felt my stomach going nuts. My throat closed.
The 7 cavers have been trapped for 9 days. They are so weak and disoriented that they can't even tell if the sounds they hear are real.
There it is again. Et là, à ce moment-là,
And at that moment, everyone yelled with all their lungs.
tous ses poumons. Oh! Et c'est les quelques secondes qui suivent.
Then we waited. All 7 of us. Stressed, tense, shivering on edge. And then we heard
La réponse.
the answer we were waiting for 10 days.
La sensation qu'on a eue.
When we saw the rescuers arrive later, the sensation was unimaginable.
This reminds me of a Minecraft mod called Abyss Ascendant where you start at 5,000 blocks below and work your way up to the top.
Oof. Hell no.
After 9 days trapped 100 meters underground, Nicolas and his friends now know they are going to get out of the cave alive. To celebrate, they present the rescuers with one of the stale pieces of cake they've been saving.
It was contact with another human being. To know that we were not forgotten, not abandoned, and finally that we would get out.
Though the men have been found alive, Cyril decides not to call up with the code.
Any word yet?
He'd rather deliver the news personally to Bernard.
Alors, ça a été fait dans un seul but.
He did that for one reason only, to keep the information as confidential as possible. Because we knew on the surface there were a lot of people listening in on our comm systems, and if they decoded our message, it could have caused some serious problems.
L'interprétation de nos données codées aurait éventuellement pu poser des problèmes.
In the middle of the night, on the 10th day, the cavers begin to emerge from the bowels of VTUBERS. Nicolas Violande is the first to be winched to the surface.
Je pourrais jamais assez remercier.
I could never thank enough all of the people who took part in the rescue. It will forever be etched in my memory, in my eyes. We'll always remember those first images of the rescuers looking at us, seeing us alive at the end of 10 days. 10 days of anxiety. What can I do to thank them? You'd need more than one lifetime for that.
It was an immense joy for me when we finally found them. I was a bit disappointed that I wasn't the one who actually met them underground, but to see them a little later when they came out was fantastic.
This operation was the biggest and longest rescue effort ever in France. Obviously, the high point of it is that we found the 7 men alive. For me, it will always be one of those experiences that is totally extraordinary.
After the rescue, Nicolas became an SSF rescuer himself, as did several other cavers.
An experience like the one we went through, it certainly leaves a mark on your life.
Moi, quand à cette époque j'avais 19 ans,
At the time, I was 19 years old. I didn't know much about life. It taught me a lot. It taught me personally to live more intensely, to pay attention to
More
my choices,
caves,
and to pay attention to my friends, to respect life.
de resserrer les liens avec tout le monde,
To build ties with everyone, because it could happen to anybody.
à n'importe qui.
Spéléologie est la dernière.
Speleology is the last activity in the world that allows us to uncover territories completely untouched by civilization. It's fabulous. All the mountains have already been climbed by one route or another, but underground there's still much to discover. Today we still find new networks of 30, 40, even 50 kilometers.
VTUBERS is now officially sealed off from the world. The military
Thank
zone
God.
is closed to cavers. No one will explore the cave system anytime soon. That is, unless cavers can find a new way in. To this day, many continue to search for that possible fissure, that possible crack that will lead them back down into the abyss.
Oh yes, because 7 men being stuck for
If
9
tomorrow
days
we
wasn't
find
enough of a
new
lesson.
entrance to that network, I will be the first to return.
He wants to go back. Sir, I think you got enough close calls. I think you spent enough time underground. You don't need to go back. Hi, it's him. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. That's insane. The hole is calling him. It was made for him. Don't say that. Good lord. Good lord.
He yearns for the mines.
He yearns for Shut the fuck up. Here, I'm almost done with my last drawing. I'm
Bro
gonna draw
is addicted to going in holes.
apparently. I'm gonna finish drawing Shia and then I'm done. So I'm gonna just listen to some music. I'm gonna listen to your confidence playlist, feminine playlist, girl boss vibes, woman energy playlist. Let's go. It's like the meme of that guy that stops mining before getting diamonds. Yeah.
Man, imagine if he also liked mining and then crafting. Maybe Minecraft.
That's enough speaking privileges for you today, Taskor. That's enough speaking for you. That's enough. I hope he likes it. I hope all of them like it. I know Felix likes it. I hope they like the drawings. I hope they like the drawings. There's something a little bit more positive. A little more chill. H task score, don't time him out. Why not? Just do it.
Where's my timeout? Give me number 100 Selim. Ignore
do
Chief
it!
with the edging.
Just do it. Give him the poor thing already. You already conditioned him into wanting them. The least thing you can do is just give it to him.
No.
Why not? Oh my god. Nah, not this
I
one.
yearn for the timeout.
That's better. That's better. I yearned from the mines. For the mines. There you go. Okay, I'm done with the hair. Now I need to place his fucking ears in a way that doesn't immediately hit Felix's face. Because this boy got long ears. Let me take you. Cut. Paste.
So when I want to get timed out, you all won't, but you do it any other time.
Yeah. I personally, usually, I'm not the one to time you out. It's the mods. I'm usually just chilling doing my own thing. Alright. No one time him out. Let's torture him. Let's touch him. Alright. There you go. All right, one more. And there you go.
Apparently Taskor likes being punished. Kinda sus.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to tell us, Taskor?
Time out cooking Taskor. We are moving into new areas of kink.
Lord. All right. Done. I think the only thing I need to really add is like the color thing he has around his neck, but I'm just gonna like sketch it vaguely. I'm not really gonna bother too much with details. There you go. Got enough. And now... I am done. And now I'm gonna post this on Twitter. Cut. Close. close. I drew almost everyone I wanted to draw. I'm satisfied.
Brew, why are your mods making me a timeout cook chair?
Why not? Why not? I see no problem in it. We love cooks in here. I mean, it's my stream, so expected. Yeah, I like that better. Okay. The weekend.
Do I finally just give him the 100?
Yeah, give it to him. We're gonna end stream soon. Give it to him. Oh wait, I shouldn't have done that. I don't know where the fuck to put Shia. His big ass ears get in the way. I don't know where to put Shia. This should be enough. Okay. Was it timed out? There you go. There you go. You can come, Taskor. You can come now. There you go. There you go. Other weekend.
So many bunnies.
Yep. We got 3. We got 3 bunnies, 1 fox.
Now the journey to 200
1 dog,
begins.
and 1...
You will clip and listen to that every night now.
Look at all those goobers. They look cute, don't they? I feel proud. I feel proud. I think that's a pretty good drawing.
And 1 egg KEKW.
And 1 egg. 1 cracking thing, I guess. All right. I want to do one more thing. I have an idea. Hold on. I'll do one tiny more thing before I'm done.
Fantastic work, you wonderful cutie laughing face.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Kai, good boy.
Meow.
1 dog. I see 2 dogs, egg included.
I have one last idea. I want to frame the drawings a little bit. Like I want to do... I don't know if
I will not be clipping what you said and not listen to it. I joined the stream rather late and the art looks really good.
Thank you.
You nailed drawing everybody Sealam 11 starry eyes.
Thank you. Thank you, Danjo. I'm not gonna put too much effort into making this look perfect.
I love lum art. It's my favorite meal.
Maybe I should just do more art. Because this was pretty chill. Like, I don't know if you guys liked it, but I really liked sharing the cave thing with y'all. And just nerding and chilling and watching the Concordia thing. That was surprisingly chill. That was
Also, finally,
chill.
100 timeouts. You love to see it. Also, great Lumma's art. I call eating the bunny ears.
There's
How's
a few.
hands?
Do you want the floppy? Do you want the not floppy? Do you want the half floppy? All of them are some shade of pink, surprisingly.
Sealam likes getting nailed. Keki.
What's up with bunnies and being pink? What's up about bunny boys and being pink? Hold on, I'm noticing a pattern here. There's so many.
Chat seemed to like it a lot. Genuine.
That's good to know. I liked it a lot too.
Wait, even your bunlum was pink.
You're
soft
right.
boys, soft color.
That's
How's
fair.
your hands, honey?
My hands are alright.
They breeding.
I think I'm done drawing for today.
It's cause bunnies reproduce fast. Now Taskor has to get 200 timeouts before 2026 or he's banned. Joking.
No, you're gonna incentivize him to misbehave. Don't do that. Lord.
Man,
Yeah.
what the hell? Let's go.
Like, do you see what I'm trying to do here? You see it? And now we made them a bit thicker. And now... So they're like, yeah, this is what I wanted.
Misbehave, Chief.
This is what I wanted. Look at those frames. That looks so much better. And one last detail.
Maybe give the background fill a grey, a slightly darker luminosity?
Ooh, I like your idea. I like your idea. Talk about it. I like your idea. I like what you're thinking. I like what you're thinking. I'm not trying perfection here. I'm trying for style.
It should give each face and circle more pop.
I like that idea. That's pretty good. The contrast could make it nice. Nice, very nice. Okay, almost done. Church and church and I should probably cover the names as well, just so the letters don't make weird shapes that look confusing. There you go. Increase, and now I like it. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Maybe I can even add a texture. Hold on. What do you think? Texture or not texture? Maybe without it. Or maybe darker and with it. Smaller. Yeah, what you think of this? How you feeling? How you feeling? Without it? Let's say without it. Okay, maybe try a different one. Okay, hold on.
Texture seems to be going in the right way.
I added a little bit. This one is different. It's not a chess thingy.
I'm still surprised that you can make such cool arts on tablet with no screen. That's big skill.
Thank you. The texture is not that noticeable. Okay. I can also make it more intense. Like this is the wait. Hold on. Idea. How about that? That looks better. It looks better? Okay. Now we're talking. Anything else that y'all think we should add? Or do
Interesting,
you think this
but now can't see the names.
We can make it white. Hold on. Let me clean up the edges a little bit here because it looks a bit odd. I don't like it. Okay, that's a little better. And now the names. Hold on.
White lettering, with black shadow or black border on letters?
That's what I was thinking, yeah. Kind of like a comic-esque. I'm gonna make it a strong color just so I can see it. And then I'm gonna turn it white, and then I'm gonna add the black around it. You tried! I need to get a better one, because that one is not that loud. Okay, and now turn them all white. That already makes it so much more visible. And now, make those bitches chunky. What we thinking then? What we thinking then? We liking it? We liking it? FNAF 1? That would be better. Probably. Yeah. Perfect. Danger likes it. Oh yeah, I need to put on
Nice.
gel.
Those popped out good.
Yippee!
Much better.
Perfect. Okay. Let me save this bad boys and posting.
Nice Selim 11ANGEL.
Thank you. Yeah, that shit looks good.
Gonna post and tag?
Yeah. That's the plan. Maybe just a little
FNAF2 jump scare noise. Also yes better Selim 11 mop. Peak.
Okay. I just want to make sure that all boys are pretty visible. And I think I got that. What's that weird smudge?
Are you going to paint it?
No. It's gonna be staying like this. Thank you for the shove, Magnolic. Hello.
You know, I'm surprised for Easter. There wasn't a Big Bunny collab.
Honestly, someone should give them the idea.
Kai, boys, Felix on a screen. Selim 11E.
Right. Sorry. Boys and the fox.
Drink water.
That's a good idea. Okay, hold on. Before I do that, I'm just cleaning up touches here and there. Okay. Boom. Good enough. Yeah, good enough. Okay, I'm posting this. Let me send you all to reach somebody. Oh my god, it's been 3 hours? It's been 3 hours, 30 minutes. I did not notice that. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. That's okay. Let me... Hey, you guys got to see the whole process. This took me 3 hours, and you guys were able to see all of that. Let's go. Let me see who I can send y'all to raid right now.
I would lock them all up in my basement and make them do forced labor.
Here, we can raid Shizu. Because I drew Shizu, so we can go raid Shizu. Let's go raid Shizu. Let's go raid Shizu. And the model was made by someone in my chat. One of my chatters, one of my friends. So here, I'm starting the raid. Go send Shisa support and love and all of that.
Thanks for the stream, Lamas Selim 11 love.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for, enjoying the art. Thank you for giving me company. Again, tomorrow is the last stream before my break and eventual debut. I hope that you guys had fun. And I'll see you then. All right. Mwah. Have fun.
That's why it's a broken sword. I think that's good lore, right? Yo, Calum! Calum, thank you for the raid. Hi, Calum. Hello, Calum. Hello, Calum. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hi. Hello. Hi, Calum. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, everybody from the raid. Hello, Calum. How was your stream? Hello. What in the puppet? Do you like puppets? I'm a puppet. One second, I'm a puppet, not a muppet. I'm a muppet. I drew you and some friends. You drew me!
Me!
Who did you draw?